Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense.
That's right, America. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Josh.
And I'm Matt.
And this is
Matt.
the lot.
Third.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
Number 3.
Can we never get through an opening?
Yeah, it
Just
can't,
one
can't
time.
interrupt. Stop interrupting, people.
Oh my God! All right. Well, this is the lost art of common sense. As always, we are brought to you by our merch shop, and today I'd like to welcome a special guest. We have Adam Brandon. He was instrumental in the Tea Party movement. He is now part of the Independence Center. So let's welcome Adam so we can maybe learn a little about him and talk to him and ask some questions.
All right.
Hey, Adam, how's it going?
Yeah.
Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on. So, Adam, tell us a little about yourself and about the Independence Center.
That sounds good. Yeah, you covered a couple of the topics in the opening. Up until about a year ago, I was with the organization Freedom Works for 20 years. I started my career basically at the organization. First 10 years of my life, very involved in the founding and the beginnings of the Tea Party movement. I learned a lot. There's actually a lot to learn from what started with the Tea Party movement and where it lost its mojo to apply to what's happening today. And then about a year ago, I made one of the most gut-wrenching decisions with my board of directors I've ever made, which was after building my career and having a great run at Freedom Works, we decided that just the way that the politics have changed in America, that wasn't the place to accomplish our vision and our mission anymore, and just things had changed so much. So we decided to end the organization, and with a few new folks I kind of met up with on the happy trail, we founded a new organization called the Independence Center. And our goal is to build a home for the politically homeless. And we believe that very shortly here in the midterms in 2026, you're going to start to see the independent vote for the first time really in American history start to make a massive electoral impact.
Now, I know you said the Tea Party went kind of off the rails. How so, if you can kind of elaborate on that?
So if you go back to the origins of the Tea Party movement, most people picked up on it when Rick Santelli gave this rant on CNBC when he was just talking about it's not fair that we're bailing out these banks. At the same time, we're just telling the homeowners go screw themselves. And even on that, like the banks that were making a lot of these loans that were getting these federal bailouts, you didn't wipe out the stockholders. You didn't wipe out the management. We just thought this was unfair. This was not the way that capitalism was supposed to work. You were supposed to take some risk. And if you went wrong, you were supposed to pay a price. That's the way our system works. So, but remember, that was under a Republican. That was under George W. Bush. And then when Barack Obama got elected, what was animating our folks at that point was what we viewed as a massive overreach of the executive branch. Like, oh my gosh, guys, like Barack Obama had like 25 executive orders, and we were like all at Twitter about it. Like, what an absolute challenge to our republic and our system of government. And so the Tea Party movement, when it was getting strong, it was when it had credibility because it was challenging both Republicans and it was challenging Democrats. And then what happened was there was something called Tea Party Express that started, and it was started by a guy out in California. It was actually kind of a direct mail shop that started the effort. And they built up they put Sarah Palin on the tour, and they sent her out, and it moved from being this movement that was focused on both parties, focused on the out of control spending, to it became a Republican get out the vote effort. And when that happened, it lost everything that was interesting and unique and special. And so I look at that, and that's one of my big lessons for today, is that a lot of those challenges I wanted to work on way back 15 years ago at the Tea Party, we still have an out of control debt and deficit right now. We still have a crisis in American healthcare. I think that's something that we could all agree upon, right, left, or center, is that American healthcare kind of sucks. And it's got some great outcomes, but it's just a disaster of a system. It's like we should be talking about that. You go down all these other issues, the immigration debates, all these other issues. We got these major problems. We're not really dealing with it. And I think the only way we're going to solve these problems is if you have a movement of Americans who are ready to come together and do something differently. And by that, it's time to rethink our relationship with the two-party system. So that's where I just see tremendous lessons from the Tea Party, but that's what's so important about the work I'm doing right now is we're not going to end up going home with either of these two parties. Like we're not that I'm anti-Republican or Democrat, although I kind of am, but I if you want to be a good Republican or good Democrat, I'm fine with you for doing that as long as you give us some space and these independent voters in America give us a chance to actually lead for once.
Josh, you got anything, or Matt?
Matt, do you have anything?
I don't have any.
Was that it? Just Mike done with the show? Move on.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
No,
Josh,
I was kind of wondering because I like a two-party system. I do not. I just don't want it to end up rolling out into like a parliamentary style system where you can get people. Because I think if you could probably get away with it with just one other, like an independent, like not Republican, not Democrat, but independent. But at a certain point, you're going to have to readjust electoral college because no one's ever going to get the required electoral college votes to win. And what I don't want is a leader getting elected
with like 12%.
Yeah, I don't want a Trudeau. That's what I'm saying.
So here's how I would, when I'm talking about my theory on independence, I'll start with the full. I don't think it starts with the presidency, and I think that's what's really gone wrong with the independent and past independent movements, is that when you look at it, there is no path for an independent to get elected to the presidency right now, because you've got to get to 270 electoral votes and all the rest of it. And so the only path for an independent right now is to win a handful of swing states. And guess what happens? The Constitution says it gets kicked back to Congress then. And we've only kind of done this once in American history, way back around the Civil War. And I think if you think January 6th was a mess, imagine what it would look like if Congress has to pick who the next president is.
I don't want Congress to pick anything that big.
Want that.
So I don't think that's the strategy at all. I do think what you're going to see in this cycle is you're going to have multiple people on the ballot for governors. Places like Michigan and California are going to have very strong independents that I think have a good, strong likelihood of winning the gubernatorial level. There's a handful of people running for Senate that I think have a good shot. But the work that I'm trying to do is mostly in the House of Representatives, because my goal is that we just did a focus group in Michigan. We spent a lot of time in Michigan, and the feedback we were getting from the people in the audience is like, someone's got to start holding these parties accountable. And what we're increasingly doing as Americans is our vote is being driven by negative partisanship, meaning like if you're a Republican, you're like, yeah, this Republican sucks, but oh my God, this Democrat's the frickin' devil, and vice versa. So the Democrats will be like, well, I don't like our candidate very much, but oh my God, this Republican is just the worst. And I think back on our history as a republic, and it's like, that's not exactly how you get profiles and courage. That's not how you get strong leadership, is just because your person doesn't suck as much as the other person. And so what we want to do is create incentives, particularly in the House of Representatives, and that if there's 435 congressional districts, only 25, really only 20-ish, are swing. So the entire control of Congress only comes down to 20 swing districts, which what we found is that the reason they're swing districts is the majority of the voters are independents. So those are the districts, not presidency. It's those House districts that I want to focus in on, that you could actually build an independent base. And the goal would be that you could start to redo the rules of Congress to actually make it function again. And so my concern for our republic is, as much as Congress has been a problem, if Congress doesn't function, what I think will end up happening to our society is I think this is when Benjamin Franklin said, a republic, if you can keep it. What they were worrying about is if you go back to ancient Rome, you go back to ancient Greece, you go back to medieval Florence, you go back to all of these cities throughout states and countries throughout history that have tried this concept of a republic. What normally happens at some point is you kind of break down between like two strong person leaders, right? So we would have a presidential cycle between a Republican and a Democrat, and it would be a death fight because they're going to control everything. Because as the courts lose their importance, as Congress loses its importance, as the states lose their importance, and everything becomes about the presidency, that's what generally has happened in history. And when that happens, politics moves from extreme to extreme, from extreme right to extreme left. And then you lose the stability that the economy was based on. And we end up starting to look a lot more like a country like Argentina in the long run. So unless Congress works, unless Congress functions. Remember, the Soviet Union had a strong executive. Every country has a strong executive. What separates a democracy and a republic from those dictatorships is not the strong executive, it's the legislative check. And so if we don't have a properly functioning legislative check, history shows us where this country will end up in 10, 20 years.
Well, the executive branch was supposed to be the weakest branch. I mean, that's how it was designed.
Exactly.
So
That's how it's designed.
But I mean, I get you want independence to win, but how can an independent be heard? I mean, they're not going to make the headlines. They're not going to make the news. You know, it's going to be either Trump or these progressive far left people.
Yeah.
Those are the news source. How does anybody break into that, that news cycle when, how can somebody be heard, trying to actually make common sense, middle of the road, everyday American type things when NBC is just going to play,
Right.
Trump did this, or
it's hard in an
AOC did this, or whatever,
and not substance.
Yeah.
Right. Well, one of the things that I watched happen when I was president of FreedomWorks, and this was a hard thing to watch. So again, I don't care if you're on the political left. You can learn from what I'm saying here, because I think what I'm saying actually applies to both parties. But my experience back in the early days of the Tea Party movement, when you had people like Glenn Beck who were kind of pushing things, if you watched Glenn Beck, they would have book clubs with Reed Henry Hazlitt. And then there would be his community would have discussions on the proper role of checks and balances, like really nerdy stuff. And against executive orders, even if they loved the executive order, it was, well, look, that's not the proper way of governance. And what happened was I watched, and this really started kicking in around 2014, I would say, is that you started seeing the surge in political entertainment. And what I saw is the base that we were working with at the time was much more interested. You heard this phrase, owning a lib, and they were much more interested in that than actually talking about, look, we've got a growing debt and deficit problem. Maybe we should talk about fixing that and the realities of that situation. And so I think what you're seeing is we're in this era now of political entertainment. Well, when you look at the numbers, and our estimates are over 50%, Gallup has it at like 43%. It's roughly half the population is pretty much identifying as an independent these days. And so what I see is that our politics and the media is infatuated with like the 10, 15% on the right and the 10, 15% on the left, and everybody else they're just not paying attention to until they have to. We had a press conference last week. It wasn't really a press conference, but we had a mix of former Senator Joe Manchin, former Republican Congressman Ken Buck. We had candidates that were actually going to be running. Todd Achilles, who's running as an independent in Idaho. Ethan Penner, who's running as an independent for governor of California. We had over 30 DC press show up. Now, there was only one story written, but the event was not about press coverage. It was about going to these press and saying, look at this data and look how this is shaping in this election. And my point to that room was, if you're not starting to talk about independence when you're talking about politics in America today and what independents believe and how they're going to behave, you're missing the whole damn story of what's going to happen in the midterms. So the press is going to be late, but they're going to catch up. And I think what this story is really going to be driven by is platforms like this. It's going to be, when you look at what's driving this change right now is a massive shift in America. The last election was the last time baby boomers were in the driver's seat in politics in America. And most politics in America, media coverage, television ads, they are all catering to the baby boomer audience. The plurality of the electorate, majority of the electorate for the next 20 years, the plurality is going to be driven by millennial voters. And then when you add in Gen Z, that is going to be the majority of the electorate for the next 20 years. So that means all of our big challenges and problems will be decided by millennial and Gen Zs. And they are not on television. Like, this revolution will not be televised because these people don't even own televisions. So it's the whole new media. That's what's going to start driving this story, and the legacy media is going to pick it up when they start seeing what's happening. Like, I got to be careful here, but I saw some data today on this guy who's running, Mike Duggan. He's a former Democratic mayor of Detroit who became an independent because he thinks the Democratic Party has just gone woke and weird. He wants to run as a common sense independent. I don't agree with him on everything, but I agree with him on enough to know I'm thrilled that he's running. I saw polling data that shows he is in a great position to win. And if he does that, and you start having these different people starting to win and get elections, there'll be this like, oh my God story. So I actually think the main narrative coming out of 2026 is this rise of the independent voter and what that means to transform the 2028 presidential cycle.
Now, like, how do you know an independent voter will be what you want? I mean, because
Great question.
Every independent I know so far has said they're independent, but votes 90%, blue, Democratic or Republican. They're not truly independent. There's just a few small issues they don't agree with, where maybe they'll break away. Like Manchin. Manchin was, he a few issues. They were pretty big issues he voted against on the against the Democrats, but I mean, he was mostly a Democrat. So how do you find a Democrat if you're an independent? I mean,
so I laugh at this all. Yeah. All the time I see this data, and it's like, someone runs for office and it's like, I'm running for office because I'm a nonpartisan, I'm a bipartisan, blah, blah, blah. And then you look at their voting record and it's 98.5% with their party.
Yeah.
So here's what we did. So when we started this project 3 years ago, I had the exact same question. So the team I'm working with, first of all, is a gentleman by the name of Brett Lloyd. Brett Lloyd was Trump's pollster in 2016. So, and this is a guy who worked at the RNC for over a decade, building up their data side of their shop. So Brett knows what he's talking about. Brett was the first person to call me and tell me Trump was going to win because he was looking at the swing voters in Pennsylvania. He was the first person to call me in 2019 and tell me that Trump was going to lose. He then told Trump that Trump was going to lose and was subsequently fired from the campaign. So, this is a guy who knows what he's talking about. And so we also then teamed up with a gentleman who owns an AI firm, and we started merging traditional polling methods with some cutting edge social listening software that you could use AI on, so that you could use the polling that was a snapshot, but then use AI to go deeper to understand. And this is where we kind of came up with, you're looking at about 40% of the population actually leans independent. And so like so you have like a Sean Hannity out there who says he's independent. It's very obvious Sean Hannity is not independent.
So what ends up happening? Independent?
Yes. Sean Hannity says he's an independent. So we have a series of questions and screeners that we went through when we were starting to trying to build our data side to understand what this is. And basically what we came back and found is what the independent voter believes that is on most social issues. They tend to be pretty live and let live. They don't care what you do in your bedroom, as long as it's consenting adults. However, these are people who are like, I don't want to put my pronouns on my email, but don't call me a frickin' bigot because I don't do that. Like, I don't care what you do, but come on, don't expect me to change certain things. I don't care if you want to smoke a joint in your house. That's fine. That's you. That's your decision. But don't do it on the street where I got to explain to my kids what that smell is. It's kind of a common sense on a lot of these social issues. And then on the economic issues, what they want are choices. And we have this choice crisis in America where people feel they either can't afford it or they're just not given choices. Like on healthcare, this is where this pops up. I got one choice in the exchange. I got one choice from my employer. I got one choice. I have very few choices to save for retirement. My kids can go to one school. And so if you start putting together a platform and you start identifying these issues of this social tolerance combined with greater economic choices, that's like 40% of the population right there. And so when I'm talking about building a home for the politically homeless, that's kind of the way the issue sets come together. And that's how we start screening people to understand and know what questions to ask. Like, are you really an independent? So, but back to that other question about, well, these people always vote Republican or vote Democrats. They haven't ever been given a real choice. So voters in Michigan, for the first time, I think both at the House level and at the gubernatorial level, are going to have a choice to vote for an independent. In California, they're going to have a choice to vote the same way for a gubernatorial independent and House of Representatives independent. In Idaho, you're going to have a choice between a Republican, probably a Democrat, and an independent. You're going to start seeing this again and again and again. So that's why this election cycle is going to be such a interesting one, because this is, I think, that everything has aligned for independent candidates to finally start breaking through. And there's other trends I'd like to get into. The value of money in politics is collapsing. But it's ironic because there's so much more money flowing into it. You start looking at all these trends that are shaping up that are kind of like pointing to 2026 as this is the coming out party for independence.
Yeah,
Well, and that's really interesting. All that's interesting because out of the three of us, I'm definitely easily the least political of us, and I'm probably the more. I would say I'm
mature.
independent. I kind of lean. What's that?
Said mature.
Yeah, that too. I wasn't gonna say it, but okay. I think I'm kind of closer to independent. I do lean a lot Republican than Democrat, definitely, but I think I'm kind of more with the independent stuff. I've just always been Republican on paper and everything. So This is really interesting to kind of hear your side of it and kind of explain that.
Well, I feel free because look, I used to be in team GOP side. And what I've also learned is after 20 years of working in it, it kind of wore on me in the sense of like I wasn't even allowed to talk to Democrats, let alone like try and find if we have common ground to pass something. And what's nauseating for me, for Republicans, and in the work that I used to do, is everyone talks about cutting spending, yet spending goes up. You'd think of all the work we just went through with Doge and with Trump. Spending is up. It's not down. It's up. It's up. And it's getting worse. I mean, we're looking at $2.5–3 trillion deficits as far as the eye can see. Like, if you're a guy like me who came into this about spending, it's like the Republican Party at least played lip service to my issue. I don't even know if they're doing that anymore. So did I believe in my issue set or not? And what I've come to realize is I do. I actually do believe in limited government principles, and I do believe in spending reform. However, to get spending under control, this is something else that is a hard fact. This is like gravity in politics. There is no Republican way to fix Social Security and Medicare. There is no Democrat way to fix Social Security and Medicare.
Nope, privatize.
You're actually going to have a deal. You're actually going to have both parties come together. And so that's what we hope to do by kind of disrupting things, is create a space that forces both parties to actually deal with the real issues that we face.
I hear that. I had a kind of a nuanced question, I guess. When you were talking about like, ancient republics and why they failed and all that stuff, I've been kind of thinking about it for a while too, because I don't know if to me, it's not as much, and it is, but it isn't, to where, like you're talking about, you get to these polarized sides.
Yeah.
To where like you're the Republican, Democrat, you have to that. To me, it seems like as we grew as a country, we got more successful because a lot of people didn't want to be congressmen. They were used to be appointed as senators. The
Bingo.
Got rid of that was stupid. But because there wasn't a lot of money in it, there's a lot of work. Well, now people are graduating college to run for Congress, run for Senate. And I think it's all about power. They don't care about the people, Republican or Democrat. They care about being in Washington and doing Washington things. And that's why, and then we get this out of control spending on both sides because nobody wants to touch, like you were saying, nobody wants to touch the social programs that are bankrupting the country.
Right.
To where it kind of seems to me to me, it's like it does. If you're an independent, Republican, Democrat, it all comes down to the voting base somehow magically needs to be educated, because it's the same problem that you're going to have with independents, because you have to break this cycle. I mean, to where, because back in the day, Clinton was a little off the rails on his first term, but it didn't really matter if you had a Democrat, Republican, the country was going to move on. Now it's like we're getting tugged back and forth, but everyone's like, they're either voting for their guy or Republican or Democrat, even if there's because I heavily believe in primary. And people getting off well, I can't stand Congress, but my guy, he's the guy.
Yeah.
Well, they're all a problem.
They're all a problem.
I live in Iowa. We've had Chuck Grassley for 90 years.
90.
How is it?
I've primary every time I can vote on a primary, I have against them, and nobody will.
How like Nancy Pelosi, what a national treasure, what a financial wizard. She is still beating the best of Wall Street.
She's beating Warren Buffett. I mean, come on.
I mean, look, so you're actually, Josh, you were hitting at stuff there that I just want to just really quickly say. So the first thing I want to point out, and this was research that we saw, and when I saw this, my jaw dropped, and this is where it was like, I think it's time for me to go do something else. We did the research, and then there was another organization that did a similar study, and 76% of millennials, when asked, want to reform or modernize, depends on how you ask the question, but it's the same thing, reform, modernize Social Security, 76%. It's the exact opposite of the baby boomers. So, and the reason why, when we dug down deeper, is because millennials, they don't need to be educated on this stuff. Here's what they know. They know they're going to have to work longer, right? They know that their retirement age is in the 70s, not in the 60s. So they got to work longer. They know they're going to have to pay more taxes, and they're probably not going to get at the benefit. So congratulations. You get to work harder, you get to pay more in taxes, and then you get really screwed. They know this. And so they're like, you know what? But what they don't know is like what the reform should look like. And see, that's my responsibility at running a nonprofit organization, is to start building out what these solutions could look like. But when we've done focus groups and polling and what these people keep coming back to us and saying is like, give us something we can trust. Give us a process we can trust. I want to see Republicans and Democrats get in a room and argue and debate and actually get PowerPoints out, do really boring stuff, and fight this out and come together with a hard-fought consensus. Because in my experience, I used to just, when you talk about compromise, I would be the one who would be all up your butt on that. And when because to me, what most of the compromise I've seen in Washington is, well, you get what you want and you get what you want, and we'll just put it on the government credit card. That's not real. Solving a problem means trade-offs. And so if they see a process that reforms and modernizes these systems, and by the way, what they're looking for like on Social Security, retirement security. They don't care if it's through Social Security or through a 401k or through whatever. They just want to be able to retire and not eat dog food and have some dignity. Okay. And we could do that. We have to have an intergenerational conversation, though. We need to talk to my parents who are in their mid 80s, and like their life revolves around going to doctor's visits. It's like, we have to have some conversations about what we can afford and what's fair to all the generations. So the next thing about power, my experience in Washington is Washington does want power, and they don't care if they're managing a country that is going up in strength or down in strength, as long as they're sitting at the table. And when I realized that people don't care if the United States is actually kicking ass, they care that what's my position in all of this. That's why I lost a lot of respect for a lot of people. And then talking about and going back to this, the founders knew this. Cincinnati, Ohio, is named after this old ancient Roman from the Roman Republic before the Caesars. His name was Cincinnatus. And Rome, I think it was the Etruscans. Maybe I could be wrong on this, but it was some other tribe in the area was about to take Rome out. And this guy left his farm. He was appointed dictator. He formed up the army, and he went and kicked this other invading force in a few months, and then still had like 6 months left as a dictator. And he's like, I'm good, going back to my farm. Here, I did my service to my country. Now let me just go and be a farmer, please. I just want to like hang out, drink wine, look at do Italian things. That's what he wanted to do. He didn't want the power. But look, those people exist. I've met them. Like, this journey as being an independent has been one of the most fun rides I've ever been on, because those people that you wish were still around in America, they're here. I mean, I have met so many former soldiers and ex-military that want to get involved and run, and they just want to just let me go in for a couple terms. That's all I want. Just let me go in and be an honest person for a couple terms and leave. That's what the incentives can change by getting independence rolling, is we could actually create the space so that we don't have to worry about expensive primaries. We don't have to worry about all the stuff that you have to do in a primary to like make sure you're okay with the base. No, we can actually go and find really great Americans and just put them on the frickin' ballot in these states. And so that's what we intend to do this cycle. And so what I hope happens is that, a year from now, 2 years from now, you guys are chit-chatting, being like, my God, we finally have, look at these 3, 4, 5 independents we've got in Congress. These guys aren't here for the money. These guys are actually here to try and help and solve a problem. And then they want to go home. And so that's the thing. I want to recruit people whose lives are better outside of Congress than inside of Congress.
Just got to make sure those people only go to vote, do their committee work, and leave.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I've seen good people go to Washington and get touched by Washington.
So our strategy with all of this is, I'm a big trust but verify guy. I'll sit here and pontificate what a wonderful moral person is, and then if you drop $100 million on my desk,
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Everybody,
It's a good
I guess everybody has a selling point. I guess.
So what do you do to isolate that? So the way that we're trying to develop this out is like right now, if I was recruiting you as a Republican or a Democrat, the first question I ask you, number one, how much money can you raise and bring in? And so when these parties recruit, that's the number one thing they're looking for is money. I mean,
got $1.
Yeah, like well, what a great think about that. What a great incentive. How much money can you bring? That sucks. So what I'd rather do is, and our strategy is, we're going to wait. We're not going to announce our candidates until probably July of next year, right before the elections, because we don't have to go through a primary. And that way we can run very short campaigns. Our estimate is these campaigns would be $2, maybe $3 million at most. We have to target about 80 to 125,000 voters per district. That's not a lot. I mean, guys, it's a manageable number to sort through. And you use that money to hyper target there. But then what our check is we tell these people who are running, it's like, you're only going to go for 1 or 2 terms. You're not going to go caucus with the Republicans or the Democrats. And by the way, if you start going off the farm, we control the voter list and the donor file that got you elected. So it's kind of like you're a good member, you have access to this list. You're a bad member, we pull you away from that list. And it's a good way to keep this relationship honest, because as much as I love meeting with these people and I know their hearts are just pure gold and they want to serve the country, I understand how temptation works.
Washington can be Washington.
Washington can be Washington. So that way, if they go off the reservation, it's like, fine, we just pull the plug on them. And it's like, you're going to have to now go to the 2 parties and then we'll beat you that way.
Yeah, because I was just about to ask, I'm like, man, because, sometimes, the RNC or the DNC will drop 50 million, 80 million for a candidate in a, purple area, just to get them to win. And I mean, it's like, man, how can somebody compete against that? Because
but
that's a lot of airtime and that's a lot.
But who's watching these TV ads? Nobody. Nobody.
No, even on the computer, I skip through them.
Right. Yeah. But think of the mail you get, you just throw it away, and it's the same horse shit we always see. It's like, this guy is a perfect person, Mother Teresa, and the opponent is a dirtbag. And it's just like, we all know it's.
Yeah, half the time I like to vote for the other person who doesn't bother me the most.
Right. So it's like, so the idea here is that it's going to take us some money. Like I said, like $2 million. I don't have $2 million laying around, right? It's going to take a while to raise and put that money together. But we're planning to do that mostly through smaller dollars. People chipping in 25, 50, $100 here or there, because it's like finally a candidate that speaks for me. And then we'll use AI and targeting to reach out to the voters we've already pre-identified. So it doesn't take as much money. So a lot of that money that's being dumped into politics, I mean, look, I'll be outspent 10 to 1 and I'm comfortable. 20 to 1, ooh, that gets a little harder. But, I think the thing is this. Remember I said this provocative statement earlier, the value of money in American politics is collapsing. And it's because this younger generation, these people in their 40s, these people in their 30s, they have a high BS quotient. They understand when you're trying. They spent their life on their phone having people trying to advertise to them on their phones and all that. So they understand, okay, this is silly. So when you come in as an independent, they're ready to listen. Okay, let me hear your pitch. Okay, you can't do that with money. Authenticity, is replacing money in American politics. And so an independent candidate, that's what they've got. They're authentic.
Yeah, I think the cheapest way to do it would be to go on shows not like ours, because we're these bigger shows like Rogan or any of these shows where
and
that's
ours.
where that's where you want to find most of your base, I would think, like these podcast platforms.
Well, look, on these podcasts, I mean, you guys do this. You have podcasts you listen to where you go and learn stuff, and you're
absolutely,
you listen. Yeah, you're on for 45 minutes. So if I've got to talk about how we're going to fix Social Security, I need 45 minutes. We need to have a long time because it's complex. I go on Fox News, I've got 3 minutes. The host is probably going to eat up 2 of those 3 minutes. So I've probably got 3 or 4 sentences. You can't talk about a serious issue. All you can say is yeah, Sean, Democrats are really dumb. Like, that's as much as you can say. That's not an intellectual argument. That's not actually moving the needle. Now, the audience likes to hear that. Or you go on, The View, and you're just like, well, Democrats are really dumb, right? Or Republicans are real dumb. So, sorry, we're having my little boy wanted to come in and say hello here.
I'll tell him hi.
Yeah. So that this is the downside of doing things from your house. But I think what ends up happening is you just tell the base who's watching that show what they want, and that's not how you're going to actually bring Americans together and have real conversations. This is how you do it. It's platforms like this. And the thing is, these are the platforms that are growing. Donald Trump was elected president because he listened to Barron Trump. And went on Theo Vaughn and went on Joe Rogan. Like, I wanted to write a piece, and I still should do this because I saved these articles. About a couple weeks before the election, I think it was New York, it was either Atlantic or the New Yorker, had a piece where Donald Trump brought a bunch of people together, like Miriam Adelson, and just berated them. Like, we're getting outspent 4-1. We're going to lose because we're just getting outspent. You need to write checks. The Axios in D.C. wrote a similar piece the next day or a couple days later, but it was from the Harris camp. And they were like, we just spent $1 billion. $1 billion. And we don't see one piece of evidence that we moved the needle at all. So that just shows the value of money. But you know what? I talked to my nephews, and my nephews voted, young males in Ohio. They voted for Trump. And I asked them, well, I was shocked that one of my nephews voted. I couldn't believe he put down his joint long enough to actually vote. And, and so I asked him, well, what made you vote for him? And he's like, well, Trump is funny. And I'm like, what do you mean he's funny? He's like, yeah, I listened to him on whatever show, and I just thought he was funny. And I just thought, I'd rather vote for the person who was funny than I was entertaining and engaging than the person who was lecturing at me. I'm like, that's the future.
Yep.
Like another way of saying relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a good move because it's not like Rogan's a huge Republican. If anything, he's more left than right. And so is Theo Vaughn and all these people. But he went on their shows and he just talked. And it helped him a huge amount, especially with, the young men, 18 to, I think 32 or 36 or whatever it was, that demographic. They crushed Kamala Harris. And it's because of those shows.
You can point fingers at me all day and say I'm just some crusty old Republican, but I hope if there's a Democrat who's listening on here, or someone who's just completely unaffiliated, they're like, I don't know about his political views, but at least he sounds like his mind's in the right place, and he's trying to do something. It sounds, it gives you a chance to actually talk about what you're doing and get beyond the facade of like that. I have a blue suit and a red tie, and I'm going to be really important. Like, that's the old politics, and that stuff's gone. And that's another reason why we're going to be able to get an independent voice out, because it's just the change in media, the change in demographics. It's going to force this change. I look at it, it's going to come quickly, guys. This is like Uber and the taxis. Like, Uber was just a better product than taxis, and it didn't take long. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah. I don't have to stand out. I used to have to stand on a street corner for like 2 hours waiting for a taxi early in the morning. And now it's like, boop, okay, I know at 5 a.m. I'll have my ride to the airport. Like, that's what we're trying to do with politics. It's like, we want to make it that easy for you to be like, okay, this is a better candidate. Yeah, I'm going to vote for him. Yeah, I'm going to go back to my life and not worry about this stuff.
I'm kind of curious because, both parties are, the Republican Party's, because of Trump, solely because of Trump, has become more the big tent party. And because I think we're at an axis of Democrats either had to admit that they were wrong or blame Trump.
Right.
If the independent movement takes off, like you think, and it kind of shows, I can see, especially like you're talking about on the congressional level, there being a real potential for independence there, because politics have gotten so polarized that there's a lot of people that are just like, that voted for Republicans because they don't feel like there's anything on the left for them, but they don't associate with anybody. So huge advantage, like we said, not on the national level as far as presidency goes, but with that. But if this takes off, it's kind of like adding a third party, but if there's not some major changes on the Democrat Party and where where they seem to be going. I mean, Elizabeth Warren just came out and said that Mignani or whatever in New York is the future of the Democrat
Right.
Party. So, I mean, it
Well,
could
he
just
is.
be where it's Republican, Independent, and the Democrats are just like, oh, there's a Democrat running, but
A lot of people have asked me what success looks like in the long run. And I think you just hit on it. I don't actually know because I could see a lot of different things that happen. I've had some people that say, okay, what I hear, since you're talking about limited government here, maybe this is the future. This becomes the new base of the Republican Party as the baby boomers kind of age out. I've had Democratic operatives who are like, I think the Democratic Party is so dead, you guys are going to be the bone marrow transplant into the Democratic Party. And then other people are like, well, you're going to become a party. And so be very clear, what I'm trying to help is when I study social change in the United States, it was the civil rights movement. It was the abolitionist movement. It was the women's suffragette movement. These movements changed both parties because they changed the culture. And again, I believe I'm not out, and it's maybe late in the game, but I still believe in my experience with Americans, most of my experiences with Americans every day are awesome. Just my day to day. I'm like, I go, go to the gym, and guess what? It doesn't break out into a race war when I'm at the gym. There's like black guys lifting weights next to me, and we're doing just fine, right? We're spotting each other and things like that. People I've never met, some people don't even speak English, and we're doing fine together. So I think when that reality kind of starts to set in here, I think what's going to happen is that this movement, when a movement starts taking off, and that's what the Tea Party had the opportunity to be at one point, was a movement about fiscal responsibility that appealed to both Republicans and Democrats, and it blew it because it became about getting Republicans elected and lost everything special. So if we have a movement, who knows what we will be able to do with time, but the idea is that you put a permanent movement that is about, we're going to put these really great candidates who really represent, we've all, I think most of us have had an experience with some young person who's come back from Iraq or Afghanistan, and they didn't bring all their parts and pieces back, and they've got to go through life with a messed up brain from trauma. They got to go through life without eyesight. They got to go through life without arms. They got to go through life without a lot of it. Shouldn't our state, and then look at our uncles and our grandfathers. They were in tropical islands doing horrific things so we could have liberty. Like, we should hold our standard of elected officials to, does it match the sacrifice that these men and women who have been serving our country, the sacrifice that they've made? And so I think that when we start merging that together, you're going to see the better angels of America come out. And I think we'll look back on history and be like, this was a weird era where we got hyper partisan. It got weird for a second, but then we realized, well, we are still all Americans. We still have this incredible belief, and we're still on the same team. And it's a really dangerous world. And we got challenges in China. We got challenges all over the place. Hey, AI is going to be a big challenge to the economy and big challenge to a lot of things. Like, maybe it's time for us to actually come together. COVID was the first crisis that I know of in American history that we actually came apart, not together in. And so I think that what you're looking at is a natural course correction where we start coming back together. And if that doesn't happen, I think we do become like Argentina. And that's very sad, because that little boy you just saw running in here, he deserves the shot at the American dream, just like his dad and my dad had.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, it seems like you're just, basically what your movement is trying to find honest people to, actually do stuff in Washington for the people. That's, if I had a nuts and bolts, that would be it. That would be the slogan.
Sign me up for that. And that's and again, but here's the thing. I don't have to agree with you 100% if I could trust you. If I actually think that you're going to go in and you're going to let, because some people, like when I had this event the other day, and a couple of reporters came up after me, and they're like, some of these people you're a Freedom Works Tea Party guy. These guys don't match up with you 100%. I'm like, that's fine. But I do know when we've had personal conversations, we do match up. We do match up on what the country we want to look like is. But I know this, they'll listen to me when they're in office. So we can have a debate. We can actually argue. We can get facts out and use reason and come up with okay, if you give up this and I give up that, maybe we both can get this together. That's what we need and we want. We want politics to be boring. We want it to be a bunch of egghead nerds talking about policy and actually doing things and making healthcare better and more affordable. That's what we want. and we deserve it. So let's go get it.
Yeah, I would say 70% of Americans agree on 80% of stuff.
Yes, that's my experience.
There's that 15% on each side that are just total, crazy nut jobs, and they're just hyper partisan that won't budge from their whatever.
But even in hyper
beliefs.
partisanship, it's actually kind of scary when you look at it, and it's like we have some data that's showing like your hyper partisans on the right or left, they actually don't disagree that much. They really don't. They actually agree on a lot of issues, but they're just into this sport tribe, right? Like beforehand we were talking football, and it's like, I hate my Cleveland Browns so much that it's like, it's a really difficult relationship, but I'm sorry, I can't become a Steelers fan. It's just
I hate your Cleveland Browns because I am a Steelers fan.
Come on, how can you hate us?
I don't talk bad about anybody.
Spot you 2 games. Like, guess what? We'll spot you 2 games this year.
Yeah. Like that. Except for yeah, that's true. All right.
Touche.
Hopefully, I don't know if you guys are going to find a quarterback this year or not.
You know what? I don't think. Like, look, that my team. Not to digress, but my team. We've been looking for a quarterback a while. They think they're going to get one in the next cycle, and it's just like, geez, like we're still paying. Do you realize my Cleveland Browns, I think, have a $75 million cap hit with Sean Watson next year, and another $75 million after that. Like, you build a football team that way. Like, they're going to be calling me to quarterback pretty soon.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, I saw you throw a football. What a job.
Yeah, right.
But
that's how Kurt Warner got out of Hy-Vee.
Yeah,
he was throwing around toilet paper.
Iowan.
So, you guys got anything else? I mean,
no, I would just say I agree with what you were saying. I wish politicians could just sit down with each other and have reasonable conversations and not attack one another. It's like, oh, you're a Democrat, you're automatically evil. I hate you because you're fucking psycho. And then at the other end, Democrats being like, oh, you're a Republican, you must be a racist Nazi psychopath. I just don't get it. And I've had people that I've been friends with, they heard that I voted one way or the other, and they're just like, how could you? Oh my God. I was like, we got along just fine for years, and then you hear I voted for somebody, and now you want nothing to do with me. I don't get it.
Yeah, but I got to give everyone a pass on who everyone's voting for, because like when you're given 2 crappy choices, you're going to vote for a crappy choice. Like,
right?
It's not a hard thing. And so again, we're all forced into this, what I think is an artificial choice of like the least of 2 evils. And I look back at American history, and it's like we had a lot of great men and women in this country who've done amazing things. It's like, this is not a country that settles for the lesser of 2 evils. Like I don't know, let France do that. Like, why don't we actually settle for a really solid, great leader who wants to actually go and bring people together and solve some problems? I mean, why? And I say that, and people sometimes here in my town, Washington, will roll their eyes. Like, well, why should we roll our eyes at that? I don't think we should. I think that's kind of my God-given right as an American to actually expect I get good choices and things. Like I got great choices in peanut butter right now. I mean, I got 50 different types of peanut butter if I wanted to go to a store. And, I got great choices in anything else I want to buy in the world. But you tell me I got 2 choices when it comes to voting? 2? Yeah. Come on. So like, I do think that this is a moment in time where we have an opportunity as independents to kind of break through. I don't think it's going to be open very long. I think the parties are in kind of this weird realignment phase right now, and they don't know what they're going to be. And so while things are open, that's when change happens. And in the next 2, 4, 5 years, I think we'll probably have some kind of new stasis kind of settle in, and then we're going to go back to things. So I think this is our opportunity to punch in right now. And I'm hoping that, I see a lot of evidence that 26 we could be a big story, and then as independents, not just my org, but everyone is involved, and that could help 28 being like, well, maybe, hey, if we get some independence and there's this choice. I'm not saying I want an independent for president, because even in 28 I don't see that happening. But I think what we could have is like, these guys are actually being serious and talking about serious things. Why can't you do that as well? Why can't you, when you're at a debate, talk about these serious things? And I would like to change the debate, because if the presidential debate in 2028 is just more, is Donald Trump God or is Donald Trump the devil? Like, I'm pretty bored with that conversation. I got to be honest. Like, I'd like to move on to like, hey, how can we make healthcare more affordable and accessible for people? Like, that's a conversation I'd like. How do we get the cost of housing down? That's a conversation I'd like. Like, those are conversations that I think that if we as independents start to demand politicians have, we will start to get that result. And then, yeah, like if independents could do something about Browns finding a quarterback, it would personally change my life.
I think you have a better chance of getting housing pricing down. So
He's not doing terrible tonight.
Yeah.
No.
10, 17, 91. Touchdown.
I don't know.
I'll check it out later. I'll check it out later.
Sorry.
Because here's the deal. If Shedeur does awesome, like the most likely scenarios, they're gonna trade him for a 3rd round pick anyway, or something like that. Like, that's how the Browns do it.
Also, it's the preseason, so you just never know.
It doesn't matter.
So until real football starts.
Look, you say it's the preseason. I used to get so passionate about the Browns. It was the early 2000s. Yeah, I was drunk. But I got pulled out of a fountain in downtown Cleveland celebrating a win. And I remember the cop when he was pulling me out of the fountain. He's like, dude, it's the preseason. Come on, man. Like, I know you're excited, but it's the
there ain't going to be many wins, so I got to celebrate them where they are.
I'm just like, go Browns! The Browns! It's like, dude, you know what I remember? I remember the quarterback of that game. His name was Ben Gay, and like Ben Gay had like scored a touchdown for us. Ben Gay, Super Bowl,
yelling Ben Gay Super Bowl. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
it was also their top sponsor.
Just that guy.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he made the team, but he had a hell of a preseason game.
One hell of a game. One hell of a game.
That's normally
somewhere. Ben Gay is listening to this right now, and he's like, "This is my new favorite podcast." This is the only
I
place
hope so.
that has mentioned my name in the last 10 years in America. So.
Yeah, he's just got like a Google alert whenever his name.
To subscribe, like, comment, and share.
Yeah. So. Adam, is there anything else you want to bring up, or?
Well, I mean, I think that I would just say, in all seriousness, to everyone if they're thinking about politics, even if you don't want to support independence, one thing from my side working here in DC that people don't realize is that your congressman is so scared of you. They are just terrified of their voters. And I tell this to people, and they're like, well, they don't listen to me. I'm like, you have no idea how much they do. And the first thing when the congressman does in the morning is they ask their chief of staff, like, how many calls have we gotten on an issue and things like that. So if you call your congressman and tell him like, hey, I'm a voter in your district and this is what I care about, they like hyper target that. And then if you take the time, because I don't care where you are in Iowa or in Pittsburgh or wherever you are, your congressman or your senator has a district office. And if you actually, when you're going to Chipotle one day, decide, I'm going to pop into that office and introduce myself, you just scared everything out of them. Because what they fear is if you show up, you might be talking to 10 or 15 other voters. You don't understand how valuable your voice is in this society to this day. All these billions and billions of dollars that are being spent in politics is to get into your brain to try and influence you to what you tell a congressman and how you vote. So it's like, if you just decide I'm unplugging from that and I'm going to think for myself, but I'm going to go tell my congressman, hey, what are you doing about Social Security? What are you doing about debt and deficits? I care. I want to hear from you what you're going to do on these things. You just scared the crap out of them. So if there's one takeaway from all of this is like democracy is not a spectator sport, and the amount of power you have to go into that office and don't be a jerk, right? But go in, be respectful, be civil, and be like, if you're a Republican and they're a Democrat, or you're a Democrat, they're a Republican, go in and just say, these are the issues I care about. I want to hear from you. Don't tell me what I want to hear. I want to hear how you're going to fix it. You just scared them to death. And that power, I think when citizens start to realize they have this power, then all of a sudden that's when you start changing everything. Because we do get the government that we get. And the government we get is because you're having 15% on each side of the spectrum that's showing up and talking. And the rest of us, the 70% of us in the middle, we're not. we're not sharing what we think with our members. So that's my call to action to everyone. Please, next week, go find your congressman and go visit their office and tell them what you think.
That's good advice.
I have a congressman, and then me and Cruz are going to have a talk.
Right.
First of all, shave the beard, buddy. It's not doing what you think.
All right. Well, Adam, I'd like to thank you so much for being on the show.
Fun stuff.
I learned a lot. Mm-hmm. It was very informative. You were funny. You were awesome. I'd love to have you back on. Maybe
let's do it.
Yeah. Anytime you want, or anytime we'll get together. Especially around midterm time. I would love to, especially pick your brain.
Well, why don't we? Let's do it early next year, because by that point we'll be able to see a lot what's happening like this.
Yep.
Because here's what's interesting: like let's say Texas redistricts and puts in 5 more Republicans, and California. Right now, the numbers kind of show Democrats will probably pick up based on historical math. You could basically say every point in a generic ballot is worth about 4 seats. So Democrats, if they're up 2 points in a generic ballot, that should be about 8 seats. I mean, this is history. So I wouldn't bet a mortgage on this. In fact, maybe bet $1. But if Democrats are going to pick up 8 seats, that means they have a majority of 5. And if Republicans get 5 seats in Texas, that means we're back to basically 0. So, we'll see what the maps look like. But I'd love early next year to kind of give a preview based on what we know, what we're seeing right now. And then, after the election, I'm either looking for a brand new job and I just blew up my career for absolutely nothing, or a savant who saw the future and here it is. So it's one of those two. So
well, I hope it's the latter.
Yeah, look, I'm not good at picking football teams, so I need to
well, I'm guessing you were born into a were you born in Ohio?
Look, I love my Indians,
Guardians,
but thank God for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Otherwise, it'd be a rough world for me.
Sometimes you can, you can pick your career, but you can't pick your football team.
That's right.
Let's
hear it. I am.
All right, Adam, thank you for being on. All right. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Have a good night and have a good weekend.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
Yep.
Okay, we good?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
There we go.
All right.
That was cool.
That was good. You guys have any thoughts on that, or?
I mean,
I was just kind of.
He's very informative.
He said, and he was, he definitely had a lot to say, and he was very knowledgeable, and I was glad to kind of listen to that, because I kind of, like I said before, I kind of consider myself more independent, but leaning Republican. And it was just kind of nice to hear some of what he had to say.
I think he's reading the tea leaves good. I mean, there is
room.
Well, and that's why I think they have a real shot at basically, and I'm not saying replacing the Democrats as anyone running as an independent is a Democrat.
That got bright.
But we have a 2-party system, and I think it's still going to be a 2-party system, and it's going to be Republican, Independent, and then there's going to be there's that weirdo.
Yeah, weirdo with the
pronouns.
Pronouns guy.
Other one, but I think he's right. I think this is the time, and I really wish I would have asked him, or you would have, because I messaged you, if he thought that Ross Perot actually hurt the independent movement.
Oh, I thought you said that's not what you asked.
No, it's not. I asked you to ask him.
No, asking if Ross Perot set the independent movement. I didn't know what set meant. Oh, you didn't put back in there.
Yeah, I don't type.
Rude.
Well.
But no, I like that. It was, and I think he's on.
I didn't know what to expect from him, but he was a really cool guy. So and he's very, very knowledgeable. I think, so I really enjoyed that. So
yeah, I look forward.
We've had some pretty good guests. Good. So
I don't
hopefully
think
this
we
continues.
haven't had a bad one. We're actually pretty lucky. We haven't had anybody.
So far, so good.
Yeah. So I think we're up to 2 more guests, maybe in September, at least.
Yeah, I got
so far.
Still waiting on some confirmations, but
sometime around September, maybe this month still. I don't know. Then we won't want to let everybody know we won't be on the 29th on this station. We'll be on Daramuth as guests.
Daramuth on Rumble.
So
if we knew how to simulcast, we would, but we don't.
We might try to figure it out. We probably won't, because
he knows. He seems to be pretty smart with this stuff, so he might know how to do it. But we both do the shows at the same time. I did his show a while back, and
I was on vacation,
I
so
like the dude, and we said we'd be on a show again, so we're gonna do it.
Right on.
Matt, you're not
Matt,
invited.
sorry you're not invited.
Good. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Daramook? What is that?
I don't care. I don't care.
My name is Jeff.
So you know what I was most proud of? Us on that interview.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Because we didn't say anything to
Matt was the only person who
the
cussed.
cuss.
Did I?
Dropping the
I think
F-bomb,
I said
buddy.
bullshit, but I'm not sure. Maybe I just thought I was going to ask a question, but yeah, Matt, way to cuss.
Dropping the hard.
Okay.
Made us explicit now, so we were going to try not to get that
That's what I
explicit.
like about you, Matt. You get on,
You start cussing,
you're like the cool, mature one. Then you start drinking and just saying inappropriate shit.
yeah.
You know, I don't even remember doing that. So.
No,
Well,
I like that.
I really do hope he comes back on. I really hope that.
Yeah.
I think he will. I think
he enjoyed talking to us.
how can you not? We're very entertaining, and
Well-
we didn't really show anyone how dumb we can be.
Yeah, well, see, we try not to be dumb. We just try to be dumb with you, like
Yeah,
when it's just us.
so when we have guests, though, it shows that we can, in fact,
Be mature.
be mature and professional. So, if you want to be a guest on the
Other
show,
than me, apparently.
email us at
Where's your-
lostcommon.com, and you can be a guest on the show.
Yeah,
you don't
you
even
don't
have
have to be anybody
overly
famous.
important or
Yeah,
important at all.
You can just be a person, and we will talk to you.
The whole point of this podcast is just like average people talking about stuff.
Have a pulse, and we will talk to you.
Yeah, basically.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to talk to. Obviously, Biden's not coming on. Shit.
Now, unless they change the batteries.
Make sure you get the lithiums, the ones with the rabbits. All right.
Jesus.
Last time you put the Duracells in,
These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
I'm just saying.
All right. Well, you know, our main topic, our main guest is off here, so that means it's time for winners and losers.
In my book, you're a winner too.
I think you're a loser.
As always, we start with the negative. Josh, who's your loser?
My loser is at I'm Propaganda for putting us on a list on X that apparently now shows every post we put. And I hope this episode is on that list on X.
It's going to be, yeah. We're live on his.
I do not appreciate the description of his group where it says people that fall for decades-old Israel propaganda. These people have very low IQs. Very retarded. Not my words. Not my words.
Yes.
Very retarded. So,
Yeah. So we
Great
may,
grammar.
if you see any random X posts of us just saying stupid stuff, it's just us trolling him because now
let's
that
be fair. A lot of my X posts are. Oh, we are live on it. I don't know if you guys can see this, but that's his page,
sweet.
and we are live on
Good. Hi.
Shills for
There's
Israel.
only 3 people in the group, but you know,
You know, all 3 of them might be watching us
Hey,
right now, seeing if we're going shill for Israel.
Yeah.
But we are very retarded, so
So the whole point of that thing is that's why his nose just seems dumb.
I know.
And it's dumb because now we can now I think he put us on the list and then he blocked us, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, what he can't
makes a
block
lot of
is what
sense.
we randomly post. It's going to show up on his group. So it's like, hey, I hear I'm Propaganda isn't allowed to own a panel van. It's going to show up on his list. So he blocked us, but he didn't block us. So
It wasn't his fault. Some people like 10 pounds of candy with them when
If
they're
you
driving
see
the
a
van.
random post where I am Propaganda may not be allowed to leave his house during Halloween, just ignore it. It's not for you. Unless you want to like it, share, subscribe, and follow the show. So, yeah, it's just a weird thing that somebody came up with. It's like we share a lot of space with Charlie Kirk and some other people, I guess.
I'm one other guy.
And like, yeah,
It's
mostly
some
Charlie
random
Kirk.
guy, another random guy. So it's Charlie Kirk and some other random dude.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like the way you talk.
He didn't even like. He posted something about, and I responded. Then he didn't respond. Some other person responded. He never responded to me. He blocked me and put me on a list.
I don't like you. I'm going to put you on a list and I'm going to block you. And then have to see all your posts because it's my list.
Yeah. That's what I get to see. You just get to constantly see us.
You
It's
just
cool,
gave
man.
us unfeathered access to you, sir.
Oh.
Winning.
So, Matt, you got a loser.
Wait a minute. Hold on real quick.
You have a loser.
Oh, hold on. What?
Where the fuck's Jared?
Where is
Yeah.
Jared? I forgot to
All right,
text him and
Jared.
tell him we're going live.
So he might just now be getting on.
Probably. He missed the guest.
He did miss the guest. Good thing
Jared.
it's recorded, so it's
That's
you
right,
can
so
just
you
go
go
back
back.
and watch it.
This is a really good
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah.
So.
Was a good guest.
You missed a lot, Jared. I apologize for not texting
If he's
you. But
if he's watching yet.
at the end of the day, if you are watching, this is your fault, not mine.
Yeah. So Jared's my loser.
So disappointed. So disappointed.
Matt, who's your loser?
My loser is a guy by the name of Dean Withers, who is on TikTok, and he likes to interview random people on TikTok. He just goes live and has conversations and tries to. I don't know how old he is.
Can you
He's
call
probably
in on
20s.
TikTok or something?
There's
If
live,
somebody's
there's
live,
live
you can-
to where they can communicate with their listeners or whatever.
Oh,
I'll be
Yeah,
right
you
back.
just DM them and be like, "Hey, I want to talk to you."
well,
So yeah, you can do that, and he joins his guests and he talks about whatever, and he tries to debate them. He thinks he's smarter than everybody. And this particular time, he was talking to two parents, I don't even know if they were parents. Yeah, they were parents. These
Or
two
a
parents
dad.
about. He was talking to both of them, but and what I sent you, it was only the dad talking. But he was talking to both the mom and the dad about kids going to like pageants or parading, and I think they got on the subject of one of Trump's old pageants that he hosted and how he could go and see their kid basically naked or shirtless or something, and he was going off about, do you think you have the right to
Did you play the video?
not yet. We can play it. You want to play it?
so we'll play the
and Matt will narrate.
Yes.
Huh?
There we go, that works.
If I
Do it
was
in narration
dumb
voice.
enough to send my kid in, it's no different than a baby commercial for diapers.
Can you answer my question? Do you think that you have the right to consent to
I bet this guy's
65-year-old
got a ton
men
of
looking at
followers,
your
too,
son while he's naked?
which is
He
just-
does. He has a shit ton.
I wouldn't allow it.
This
Do you
kid
think
That's
that
my
you have the
responsibility as a
right?
father.
Do you think that you have
is
the
gonna
right
get
to
busted for
allow it?
child
Do you
porn
think
on
if
his
you did
computer.
allow it,
He has
that
the
you would
look.
be violating the
Yeah.
consent of your child?
Yeah.
They have no choice in the matter whatsoever. It's my decision as the parent, and I wouldn't put my kid in that situation. That's why I think
Yeah, you
pageants
should
are
cover
weird in
that
the
up.
first place. I would never.
Yeah. So this guy, he goes
Is he
off.
mad? Sorry.
Yeah, he is. And he always asks the people really stupid questions where there's no win. I mean, either way you answer it, it's going to be wrong in his eyes. And he's going to twist your words and it's going to blow up. And then he's going to do this.
Amen. Okay.
Kevin, you need to call
So
in
here's
there.
what we're gonna do. I think that you don't.
I don't know if I
deserve to
can. I don't think I have enough followers.
Any custodial rights of your child.
Well, that's bullshit.
So
Follow us on TikTok.
for those
Look
watching,
at Kevin
the
on that show.
handle is goatman91096. It's gonna be their handle. If there happens to be anybody in here that's good at has like facial recognition software, or
Oh, you
might,
can
or
find
might
me.
be
It's
able.
fine. Nothing I said was wrong.
That's
I just said
absolutely
that the
true.
kid doesn't get to make the
What's-
decision.
what's your name?
I would never put them in that situation.
Okay, what's your name?
It almost sounds like Andolph.
And why are you trying to dox people, dude? That's weird.
Gandalf?
I want to find
the
who you are
Gray?
so I could call CP.
Gandalf the Grey or Gandalf the White?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you would like to try to do that.
Andolph
Yes,
is
I-
Gandalf
sarcastic.
the-
They would
Herb.
never even do it. That's the best part.
Okay.
Gandalf the
I would take the
pederast.
part, and I have a witness sitting here who's heard me say I would never put my child in that
Okay.
situation.
Okay. So what's your name?
So don't worry, move the goalpost too. By the way,
So you
That's
said that
exactly
you
what they
think that
do.
parents have every right to exploit and traffic their children. So
no, that's not what I said.
So I'm not going to debate it with you. That is what you said.
It's not-
So
What? I'm not even gonna let you
Not at
answer.
all.
Feel
It's
free
exactly
to,
what
you
you
know,
said.
take
Even
his
though
profile
everybody
picture,
could hear
maybe
you
can
didn't
go
say
on, like,
that.
TikTok.com,
Kevin, you need to call in on that
//
guy's show.
You could save his
I don't
profile
know that
picture,
guy.
make
I've never even
yourself,
seen that guy. I don't know why Matt has him on his live feed.
Because he came on. Yeah, no, because I saw a video about it on my TikTok, and then I looked more
You're
into
more
it
than welcome
because
to.
it
There's
just
nothing
sounded
Feel free to
wrong with
take
what I
that
said.
information and report it to CPS. Feel free to take that
So
information and report
he's
it to like the
allowing
law authorities.
he
in this
wants his
area.
followers
Feel
to
free to take
dox
that
him, and
information
so
and
CPS
report it
can
to,
Yeah,
take away his
take
kids.
his kids.
Yeah.
He later went on because he got so much crap about this. Like everybody,
Yeah, because he's a
wonder
piece of
why.
shit.
he is. He's a piece of shit. And so later he goes on and he calls the parents back and he apologizes. He says, "Hey, I went about that the wrong way, but you're still evil. People should not have children, and you're a piece of shit. And what I said wasn't wrong, but I'm sorry I said it, even though I'm not. I'm just saying it so people will get off my back."
You know, we all
And that
have
did not-
nieces and nephews. Would any of us trust that dude to watch any of them?
Hell no.
No,
Yeah.
fuck no.
I
would call
guarantee that kid
CPS on my
has.
brothers if they allowed that dude to watch their kids.
Yeah. That dude definitely has child porn on his computer.
I'm just saying.
Just
It's
saying. He just has the look.
bad. So bad.
Something about that weird haircut and skinny face. It just looks like I like to lure
The guy
kids.
wasn't even entertaining enough to watch him ironically.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. He was not entertaining. How do people get followers on TikTok when we're entertaining as fuck?
I mean, I'm not
Because
saying
he
we're not.
creates bot accounts and
Probably.
a million bot accounts.
Probably, well, there's algorithms and shit, and he just talks of whatever's a popular subject and goes, whatever. Then, so we just talk about what we want to talk about, popular or not.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
I'd say. You got to lose. Oh, you have losers.
Yeah, it's from your state. All those Texas Democrats that fled to New York and Illinois because they didn't want to vote on the gerrymandered Texas districts. But I mean, there was other things they had to vote on, like flood relief, all that shit. Oh yeah, all those pieces of shit right there. Ken Paxton just filed to get them all removed because whoever didn't come back.
Oh, they should. Is it ironic that they went to the state with the most jacked up district map in the country?
They're both. I mean, Illinois has the most gerrymandered map there is. The New York also has a pretty bad gerrymandered map to where one district has a circle, then above it, then there's another district between it, and above it has the same circle to where it's a broken district, and I just don't get how that can fucking work.
Well, when he was on Colbert, he actually pointed that out, and the governor of Illinois, which is another reason why Colbert is losing his job, and then all these late night shows are going away because they're nothing more than another political propaganda machine. They're not funny anymore. But he's like, oh yeah, it looks like it's like somebody a kid drew that with a crayon. It's like, oh, what's this here? What's this district? Oh, it's a snake.
Yeah, I mean, that's
why I wish Craig Ferguson was still on. He was the only one I could really stand.
Who's him again? Remind me.
He was on the Drew Carey show. He was the Scottish guy. He was on a late show. Every time he had a attractive woman.
I like Conan.
The entire time.
Conan was good. I like Conan.
For canceling Conan.
Yeah, Conan was great.
It's like, nope, we're going all political and dry, not so funny humor. There's no place for you here.
But I think Democrats are worried that they're going to take away race-based, what do you call it, districting. So
see, that's what's weird because I heard one of the districts are going to be primarily African American.
That's they have to make it. Like Louisiana made a district map, they gerrymandered whatever, and they made pretty much squared districts and stuff, they're based on population, not by race. Then some race group sued them for it because they said the black population wasn't represented enough, so then they had to make another district to where it fucked everything up. Then they said, nope, you have to do another one to where now there's almost like Illinois, there's a fucking line going from the south to the north one district going through 3 major cities because that's where the black population is.
I could be wrong, but doesn't that
To where now
sound
people are suing
racist?
Louisiana for that, to where it could drop race-based, districting. So
Well,
if
race-based
that happens,
districting is
District
stupid.
3?
It's just
It is.
assuming that everyone of the same race thinks the
Exactly.
same way.
Exactly. To where it's going to get, so it's in the Supreme Court, to where Supreme Court rules that race-based, districting is illegal because, discrimination and shit.
This is why I think Adam Brandon has a real shot in what he's doing, though, because if you listen to him talk, the biggest thing that he's pushing, really, if you
It's
break
just
it
common
down,
sense.
well, if you break it down to bare bones, it's diversity of thought.
Yeah.
That's what he's bringing. Like if you just break it down to the bare raw ingredients, is diversity of thought, which is what originally made this country great. All the diversity you hear about now means nothing in a country that's free. It shouldn't matter if you're what race you are, what sex you are, what sexual orientation you are. It doesn't matter. It's all diversity of thought, not diversity of stuff that you cannot change.
Yeah.
And then to roll people in like that with these districting, that just seems racist as hell.
It is
And
racist
those
as
Democrats
hell.
better actually get charged in a
But
race.
if the Supreme Court cuts it that, like, says you can't, that's not allowed, Democrats have a chance to lose 25 to 30 seats in the House.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about it overall, though? Do you think it's a good idea, bad idea? I mean, they're threatening to, well, we're going to do it in these states where we've already done it.
What, Illinois and New York? They've already done it as much as they possibly
all of
fucking
them have.
could.
It doesn't. If you look at the county map during presidential elections, if you went by square footage of land, California would go red every election cycle.
Well, just look at it. Like California was 40 to whatever 60, 40% Republican, yet they only have 2 seats in California. New York was 5% difference. It was 55, 45, or 50, 45 or whatever. And it's 3 congressmen from New York compared to like 16 for Democrats. Illinois, two Republicans out of Illinois, even though Kamala only won it by 4 points. I mean, they gerrymandered as much as they can out of these fucking states. They can threaten all they want. They can't do much else.
What we're going to do is they're going to expand this district to any district that has a Republican congressman.
They're just circling like one house out of a fucking Republican place has one guy that's a registered Democrat. Like, yeah, and he's going to have to be a representative. Like, I don't want to be. I was just
sorry, George.
I'm a trash man.
You're going to Washington. Bring your broom. We got some cleaning up to do.
I mean, that'd be awesome. But I think you need 700,000 to.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What's up, Jared?
What up, Jared? You missed half the show.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Kevin's fault.
No, Josh didn't tell you, so it's Josh's fault.
Yeah, I sent him a text saying, "We've been live for an hour."
We're gonna tell you we're going live tonight, and we've been going for an hour already. So,
and you missed a good interview. So,
all right, Josh, who's your winner?
I didn't really have one, but I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical about, Mr. Adam Brandon at first, just 'cause I didn't know much about him. But I think he's my winner of the week. He's a good dude. I think he's.
That's a good winner.
I'm not independent. I'm not going to be an independent, but I believe in what he's doing. I think he's got a good mission ahead of him, and I don't think he's wasting his time or resources to do it. So
no,
he's my winner.
Yeah, that's a good winner.
Who's your winner, Matt?
My winner, I couldn't think of one, and then I
sour gummy worms.
It's Sophie Cunningham of the Indiana Fever, because her and this guy started their own podcast. And the first episode, she was like going off on everything. She went off on Kelsey Plum for calling out Team Caitlin, and then she called out the refs, and she was talking bad about the refs, and she even said, "Hey, it's a hard job. I would suck at it if I went there." But the WNBA ended up finding her, and she said, "Bring on the $500 fine, so it's not going to bother me. So
I make $75,000 a year, motherfucker. What's $500 to me?
I think she gets
She's got
a lot of
more.
endorsement money.
She's got a lot more endorsement money. So she didn't care about that, so they fined her, and then she kept talking about it. And the second episode, they're like, "Oh yeah, they fined me, and they're going to find me again and again and again because I'm not going to shut up."
Because of what she's saying on a podcast?
Yeah, and it wasn't even that bad. It was true, and she.
This is not America. Can you not say what the fuck you want?
I mean, it could be worse. She could have started a podcast and been like that UFC guy who just got super anti-Semitic.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that guy was like, yeah.
That must have been before you were on the show.
Yeah, because he was your loser. What, like 2 months ago?
It was longer. I think it was longer than that. He's a UFC fighter from I think Arkansas.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
that guy
went
just
on
like a huge rant how Hitler wasn't that bad.
Hitler wasn't a bad dude. You know, if I was gonna go fishing, I would go. He's a dude I would go fishing with. He was like the dumbest.
I'd go fishing with Hitler.
I had to make a montage of him and then Dana White going, "He's dumb." Okay,
he's dumb.
Some people are just dumb.
Like he's not with us anymore.
Oh my gosh, he's just like he just went total anti-Semitic, and I was like, well, so I'm glad that she started a podcast, and like, you know, that's what good thing about podcasts are. If you don't give a shit about the left coming after you, is you can, you know, just talk
or your job, I guess.
Have fun.
Well, yeah, it just doesn't.
That's why I don't go corporate. Stay uneducated, people, and get a hard back-breaking labor job to where nobody really gives a shit about what you say.
You might be able to get on a list for Shills for Israel.
That's right. If you work really hard, you too could be on Trills for Israel.
All right. Well,
who's your winner, Kevin?
The DOJ for actually doing something about this Russia hoax shit. I know Tulsi Gabbard was already my
partisan.
winner.
It's bullshit.
So I don't know if anything's ever going to happen about it, but at least they're moving forward. So obviously, I don't think Obama's going to get anything because I think he was a president while at the time, and Trump kind of set that precedent that you can't really.
But
I don't know treason. I don't know treason. I don't know. And that's something that somebody would have to argue. It's not going to be me. But as of right now,
I mean, I get what he was saying. I just think that was his way of saying I'm not going. And you know, I'm not going to say he's out of office, been out of office. He is. I mean, it's half-assed, kind of sad. Like he's going to just be a step above Biden. He's going to be a forgettable president. And a lot of it is because what he did after his presidency.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't matter. It's not worth it. But these intelligence people, like, I get it, whatever. Presidents don't normally prosecute other presidents, but whatever. But, like, people that are supposed to be running the security of the United States, either within or abroad, doing this shit, yeah, they need to be charged, prosecuted, and thrown in prison. And they'll wait and be like, no, statute of limitations is up on treason. Is there one though? Oh, we just added it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, as of right now, they're my winners. So yeah, that's it. That was winners and losers.
Well, hopefully that doesn't spawn a press conference from, what's her face? I don't even want to remember her name. Pam Bondi.
Well, she's probably been on Fox News 8 times already. So
I don't like her voice.
I don't like her.
As of right now,
yeah, I can't stand her.
If she does something, I guess I will maybe overlook the fact that
she's completely anti-2A.
Yeah, well, I can't look at.
She has a file on her desk that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It was the file. It was in a manila folder, and there was stuff in it.
The cleaning lady, she didn't speak English. She threw it away.
It's not my fault.
And then Dean Cain joined ICE and came and got her.
I told her no
now
bueno,
I don't have a
no bueno. And
you know what? If all you people out there that are upset about nothing coming out on Epstein, blame Dean Cain. Blame Superman, everyone. Trump truth.
Wait a minute, hold on.
What I say is what I say.
Before we get past this, Dean Cain is going to be part of ICE. So yeah. Oh. He's not part of ICE yet, though. So they can't. No one else can hear you. I'm the only one talking to you. So this seems really. All right, my Trump truth. Oh, the show. Trump truth. Elizabeth Warren is a loser. She lies about everything, including the fact that she's an Indian. She's not. She's no Pocahontas. And that is my Trump truth.
What I say is what I say.
I was going to leave you hanging in there for a little bit, but I was like, ah.
Oh, that's going to look awesome when people are just watching this.
Why is that guy just sitting there laughing his ass off?
Why is he talking to himself?
It's so intoxicated. It's such a reason to subscribe, comment, and hit that notifications.
Hit that bell.
Well, I guess that means
if Papa Gandhi wants to subscribe and like and comment, that'd be great.
Hey, man, we've had a self-proclaimed communist on the show, so I am propaganda. It kind of makes me sound... It kind of sounds like he's saying he's propaganda, so everything he says is a lie?
That's what I kind of thought, yeah.
That's what
it's a play on his name, but it makes him sound like a liar.
He is.
So I'm not retarded?
I mean...
Well...
Let's not go that far.
I wouldn't go that... Yeah, I don't go that far.
I mean... I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm kind of retarded.
A lot of support, guys. A lot of support right here.
I'm here for you.
I'm just saying you might be diddling the spectrum. Okay. It's time for Happens of the Week, brought to you by... Elevate your cook with Yummy Tummy barbecue sauces. Founded in Amarillo, Texas by Quad City Iowans, we craft every bottle with whole ingredients like ripe peaches and zesty jalapenos. Our pride, simple, easy-to-read ingredients delivering bold, smoky, and tangy flavor. Visit YummyTummyBBQ.com and pick the sauce and or sauces that's best for you and taste the honest Yummy Tummy difference. Use promo code LOSTCOMMON for 10% off your first order.
What's happening?
What's happening? What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What is happening?
What is happening, Kevin?
Well, the first one is Adam Schiff is being investigated for mortgage fraud by the DOJ, which is also good.
About anyway.
Basically, he claimed one house in Maryland and one house in California, but he claimed them both as his primary residence, which is illegal.
How long did he do that?
It's been years.
Oh, so it's not like he made a mistake 1 year.
No.
He made a mistake over a lot of years.
And also, I mean, there's allegations he might have diddled a kid, but I don't think they got him for that. So.
Oh, he's got panel van written all over it.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, so he is being investigated for mortgage fraud. The DOJ's opened an investigation into it, or I think.
I would assume that that's definitely within the statutes of limitations because since he's done it every year.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a new thing. I mean, he's just been overlooked. But I mean, I get it. But if you're going to go after like Trump for, a fake fucking Russian hoax, then you're doing this shit. How dumb do you have to be? Like once Trump I know they went after Trump. They did all this lawfare, all this shit. They tried to kill him twice. He still won. You have to think Adam Schiff shit his pants a little bit.
I would think so. I mean, plus the guy who's had 2 assassination attempts goes out a window to get out onto the roof and look at stuff.
Yeah. That was then answer questions from reporters and just yell down to them.
How unsettling to the people across the way who sit in their office with binoculars and see a sniper looking at them. I saw a click! Fire!
What do you think? Like the Secret Service has to be like, are you fucking kidding me? You want to go on the roof?
The first thing I thought of when I saw him on the roof was the episode of The Office when Michael goes on the roof and he's like pretending to jump off. and they had the bouncy house on the side.
Oh yeah, because he's going to jump into the bouncy house.
He was going to jump off in the bouncy house, and he's like, "Oh wait, I can't do that."
Or when they threw the fucking watermelon down and it hit Stanley's car.
It's off the trampoline.
I think we can all agree that the U.S. office was better than the original.
Oh yeah, by far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the next one, I saw the preview for it the other day, and it looks interesting, but there's no way it's going to be the office.
No.
And it wouldn't be our show if I didn't just randomly go off topic and say, is there really going to be new episodes of Home Improvement?
Yes.
Is there?
Yes.
That could be
No,
good.
I haven't even heard this.
I think it's going to be like 9 or 10 episodes, so it's going to be like a special, but yeah,
like a mini series.
Yeah, they're going to get most of the original cast back, I think.
Isn't the oldest kid, wasn't he like charged with something? The one that played the oldest kid?
At one point.
Is he still alive?
Well, I think two of the kids were. Yeah, you should still be alive.
I kind of look forward to that. His new show's kind of, I'm only a couple episodes in. I think it's called Shifting Gears or something.
Yeah, it's I don't like the girl. I think she can't act. The daughter.
Well, and you have to, because it's got a decent cast, but here's the thing too with sitcoms and TV shows. You have to give a certain amount of leeway, I would say, for the first half of the season for the people to find their character.
Yeah.
And then after that, or if you have an awesome show like Resident Alien, and then they start going super fucking woke, and then thankfully they turned it around on that.
Did they? Still... I went to that woke episode. I was like, ugh.
Oh,
which one?
I just stopped watching Resident Alien.
The one where you've never seen that show?
It's good.
I know what it's about. I just haven't watched it.
Oh
it's funny. It's good. I'd recommend it.
Fantastic. You can go through IMDb and find out which ones we're talking about because it has generally like a 7 or 8 rating, and then those have like 4.
Yeah.
But it's a good show. It's not as good as People of Earth or whatever.
People of Earth. I'm sorry that was canceled.
Pissed me off so bad.
I didn't watch it until after it was canceled, which makes me mad. But that show was awesome.
Did you see that show, Matt, with the gray alien that his head looked like 2 giant balls, and then he had like little spindly hairs coming off?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's just say America died a little bit when they canceled that show.
Yeah, that was
great.
What was it called? People of Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Sounds familiar.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Sitcom.
Yes.
So let's go on to the next one while Matt's looking that up.
All right. Well, there was 80,000 people have applied to ICE.
Apparently, they're a bunch of losers because
including Dean Cain.
No, he didn't apply. He just got the job.
You arrest Pam Bondi's cleaning lady.
I told you I'd make myself worth it. He's a cop.
They took off the age restriction.
So that's what I don't understand. So they want to fill 10,000 spots. They got 80,000 applicants, and it makes me feel like, like a lot of husky gents and possibly, guys showing up with, hey, I'm
sure
club.
It would
we love the letter K.
I don't know if you guys
it's
watch.
Just weird you got that many applicants.
I don't know if you guys watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No, yeah, me too.
Did you ever see the episode where they're like trying out for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yep.
And there's a bunch of people wearing capes and shit.
They're
really out of shape, guys, just trying out for the Eagles. It was just super ridiculously fat and weird people doing it the whole time.
I feel like that's what 90% of the applicants are.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think 90% of the applicants are.
One guy to carry guns.
And the one guy in the cape is Dean Cain because he was Superman.
Dean Cain is actually a cop. He's a licensed, I think he's a state trooper.
So is Shaq.
Whatever his name was. What the fuck his name?
Shaquille O'Neal's a cop.
No, the white dude that used to do the karate movies.
Karate movies.
Are
you talking about Ralph Macchio?
No, he's a white dude. He was. What the fuck? No. He wasn't like John Todd. He did a bunch of stuff with DMX.
No, I know who you're talking about.
A bunch of he was in movies with DMX.
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
The chubbiest sheriff and wherever he's from.
Fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
Have you seen that when he did a sparring thing and he
and touches people and they go down?
They run to him. He's just like, "Hoo-yah."
Yeah. He like touches them and they go down. It's so fucking stupid.
Tiger attack.
Oh, God. They talked to this.
That's Steven Seagal.
What the hell is his name?
So I had to figure Dean Cain was
name's
a better
Steven Seagal.
better cop than
No,
Steven
I'm talking about
Seagal.
this black guy that they talked about, Steven Seagal, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here." He was a action star, but he is a legit fighter. And they asked him about Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's like, "No, neither of them, especially not Steven Seagal. Don't ever talk to me about Steven Seagal."
No,
He was an
Jean-Claude
action
Van
star?
Damme was actually a
He's a name.
They
Oh, he-
said that Jean-Claude
Wesley
Van...
Snipes.
No, not Wesley Snipes. It's
You would not forget that man's name.
no.
Denzel Washington
Dark
plays a pretty
Knight.
good action.
Yeah, I like the
And later
Equalizer
on in
movies.
life,
Yeah,
The Erasers, fantastic.
Equalizer.
Equalizer, not The Eraser. I think that was.
That's fucking Schwarzenegger. He was
Is it
the
though?
yeah. Schwarzenegger was in the movie called Eraser.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so suck it.
Bullshit.
How about the Running Man? Speaking of Schwarzenegger.
They're making a new Running Man.
Yeah, with the
should.
guy from Twisters.
Yeah,
The
and I heard
original
it's
was
supposed to be more.
stupid.
Yeah, it's going to be better than that. So I think it's going
This
to be
new
more
one
like
looks
the book.
good.
I'm not
This new one looks
huge on all these remakes of everything, but there are certain movies made in a time where they didn't have the technology or the effects to actually give you, the full story of everything and let you immerse in it. So I thought Running Man was stupid.
The first one was Schwarzenegger. Yeah, it was dumb as shit.
Yeah, it was super dumb.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of ice, an ice building had rocks thrown at it and was set on fire in Washington State because Washington is pretty much a liberal hellhole. So,
I thought it was Utopia.
Yeah. Well, wasn't Seattle where they made that
Choppy Chaz?
Yeah, Chaz. So yeah, and it's the Democrats' fault. I mean, let's be real. Some ice officer is going to get killed eventually.
If and when that happens, I believe that's where we're going to get to the boiling point that led to the Kent State incident.
Yeah.
Because as soon as somebody, and they've already been seriously hurt in other situations, and that's what all these, and I think the powers that be are pushing for this to happen. The morons that follow it don't understand. As soon as that line is crossed, then every single protester and every single event, mission, whatever, is going to be considered a deadly threat. And then someone's going to throw something, and it's just going to set it off. And I hope that doesn't happen. I hope, by actually arresting and prosecuting and jailing some of these people, it slows it down, not just because they're pieces of shit and they need to be thrown in prison, but to get people to open their damn eyes. Like, there are consequences for what you do in life. I know for the last 10 years it doesn't seem that way, but there are. And sometimes when you cross that line, the consequences you're not going to be able to learn from because you're not going to be around. Tell me I'm wrong, Matt. I dare you.
You're not wrong.
That's what
I agree with you.
You're fucking wrong as shit.
You're a liar.
Now, consequences, there's always consequences to your actions. So, and it's always going to escalate to where you're going to get your ass beat or worse.
Exactly.
If you're not going to learn from your fucking mistakes, and
that's what I understand, though.
Either someone's going to kick your ass or life's going to kick.
So here's the thing. So
it could be either, Matt.
Freedom of speech,
or both.
Okay, you can yell fire in a theater if it doesn't cause
a panic.
It's just dumb.
So if you're constantly going out and demonizing federal agents, and there are people saying you need to go basically engage against these people.
Yeah, they're the Gestapo. They're going to, they're Hitler's
How
army.
are those people not being held accountable for what they're saying? Because that is speech that is leading to violence, which is the whole you can't yell fire in a theater.
There's one lady that went on TikTok a while ago. I think it was a lady. I don't know
need to
what
stop
it was.
watching TikTok.
I do.
No, you need to get on that one dude's show is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Watch
He's
more
got.
TikTok.
I looked it up, and I think it said he had like 4 million followers.
That's some
Anyway.
bullshit.
4.5 million followers.
Kevin can sit there with his mouth all open, looking weird.
There you go.
Except for Kevin wouldn't cover his mouth. He'd be like,
Wait a minute, I know what you did there.
Why are you? I don't know. Anyway, no, he was. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, she was on there, and she was basically saying, "We need to kill these ICE agents. We need to go out and kill these ICE agents." And I'm pretty sure they found her and.
Yeah, there's one thing you can't do is threaten to kill somebody on the internet.
and I'm not saying throw these people in prison for life, but there has to be consequences. That's like
something.
And I don't think.
Well, then why are like half the Congress not in jail because they said, "Hey, let's go fight"?
Oh, that you want to talk about
in the streets
between that and then them passing these stupid laws that completely wrecks people's entire reality, and there are zero consequences for that, other than if people decide to wake up and actually like listen to what people are saying, not just listen to what they're saying, but watching their actions. Educate themselves on the people primarying their guy or girl, then there's no consequences whatsoever. They may get voted out. Hey, I just destroyed like the whole shutdown, the continued shutdown, these governors continued destroyed millions of
but
small
no
businesses.
one primaries. Like no one votes in primaries.
And that's what sucks because I mean honestly, and that's the one thing that Adam Brandon was talking about where he says you only have two choices, and I was like, no, you have tons of choices during the primary.
Yeah.
You're supposed to weed out
the shitty ones. So you have your choice at the end. Now, do we do that properly? No, we don't. No.
So that was the one thing, like there are, but nobody participates. I do.
I think I do.
Vote against my guy. Unless I
did
kind of like Ted Cruz. I just don't like his beard. Ted Cruz, you should come on the show. We'll talk about that beard.
On.
I know it's a horrible idea. It's called Just for Men. Okay.
Are you for or against, what is it, the multi-tier primary where the top two, you have 6 and the top 2, if they don't get a certain amount, and the top 2 or whatever, then the last guy goes, you just keep voting and voting and voting until eventually there's a winner? Or do you like the one winner no matter what?
There can be only one.
I could be for either way, really. The only problem is the one thing I like about the multi-tiered one is generally the incumbent will always pull ahead. That's why I was surprised that, and I bet he's not voting like a dumbass much anymore, but that guy that Brandon Herrera ran against down here in Texas, that caused a runoff. And the only reason he lost is because frickin' Cocaine Mitch dumped I think he was still in charge of the Senate what's his face? Who's the Speaker of the House? Nerd. Johnson. Gave that dude a shit ton of money. That dude was a bullshit. He was a rhino all the way.
Oh, yeah.
And I would have loved to see Brandon Herrera in Congress. But the only reason he lost is because he got outspent, and they're all like, oh, Brandon Herrera is all about giving guns to 2-year-olds and stupid shit like that because he's a gun tuber.
Yeah.
But the fact that was another thing, like what Anna Brandon was saying as far as like new age media. I mean, you got to think a YouTuber got into a runoff with, and now I think now he's considered a singer. He was a 2-term congressman. I mean, that shows you the power of people, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting below.
So if you guys could do that, it'd be great.
That way Kevin will run for Iowa Senate.
Yeah.
Against a Grassley.
I don't know if he'll probably be dead before I actually do it.
He'd be alive. I was going to say, will he be alive?
Maybe in 2032.
He's just going to pass it off to his kid.
Yeah. And people just do it because, why not? Because people are idiots.
Done it the last 90 years.
Yeah. HHS slowed down mRNA development, which is basically what Kennedy said is he found that basically mRNA, especially against respiratory viruses and stuff, actually causes the virus to mutate and the mRNA vaccine is only supposed to go after a certain target. It's like targeted towards that thing, but it'll mutate before it eliminates it to where, then the mRNA is just, just
Bad.
doesn't do anything. Then it just goes after whatever else it wants to, like your heart.
So they tried, failed. It's time to abandon the research.
Yeah.
And go to nanobots.
Which made me also, Trump then said he's still very glad he did Project Warp Speed, which I just don't get.
It's pretty simple. If I was that dude, I would never mention
Somebody
anything.
asked him.
Oh, by the way, if you're watching on Rumble and the feed freezes, just hit refresh. Sometimes it does that.
Refresh.
All the 2 people that are watching, me being one of them.
Wow. Whoever's watching on Rumble, thank you.
You didn't have this. You didn't have this in the notes, and I want to talk about it right now. I want to talk about this. Okay.
What is that?
The old dildo at the. There's been 4 times a dildo has been thrown on the WNBA court,
which apparently has spawned a new mascot. I mean, it's
the mascot of the WNBA
catches the eye.
It's like, is that a cactus? What is that? No,
that is definitely not a cactus.
A weird looking cactus.
What's funny is there's a whole betting thing on a line on what color the next dildo will be that will be thrown on WNBA court.
It's going to be harder for people to sneak them in now because they're thinking of banning bags.
You're going to sneak them in the hard way.
They're going to have to get those.
They already have it. Yeah.
There's always one way to get it in there. Possibly 2, depending on who's bringing it.
You can never take away the prison wallet.
Well, they're going to have to end up getting those. They're going to be going through X-ray scanners and have the body scanner like, nope, you're not. Why did you bring so many? Well,
you think Adam Brandt's going to be like, I can't believe they just went on this fucking subject after I was on the show.
How did this even happen? Like some random dude's like, I know what I'm going to do.
I want to buy a dildo just so I can throw it out. So there was a guy criminally charged for doing it.
Yeah, I think it was the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah. They caught the third one, too, because I think he was in, like, the first row and did it.
Yeah. And it, like, hit, I think it hit Sophie.
Yeah.
So is that what he was charged for?
I think she was laughing when it happened.
She was just like, it hit her in the leg. She's like, what is that?
I'm going to check that off the old wish list.
Yeah.
Or the old, what do you call it, bucket list.
Bucket list.
Get hit with a dong while playing basketball in a professional-ish sport.
That's on my wish list.
Says everybody who played against Shaq.
Why are your legs so tall? It's so awkward.
You're not even touching.
Oh, God. Please don't pull out the shimmy move tonight. Please. I just can't take it. Mentally, physically, and emotionally.
That's why Shaq was so good. Everybody's gave him a little space.
Yeah, if you ever notice when he posts up, he's all like... And then I just picture him screaming like Kevin Hart and running away.
See, it's moments like this. I can't believe we're not more popular.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
Do you hashtag these?
No,
I don't hashtag them when you post them.
Is hashtag even still a thing?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know anything about the internet. So
random things. And
even though we have a show on the internet and I am constantly on X.
No, maybe I'll add them somehow.
Yeah, when you post the stuff, put it in the description and just start hashtagging random.
I don't put anything in the description.
The show.
Kind of sounds like you're pretty smart, and some of them might be getting some usernames and passwords.
Yeah. Might be able to join our X team, and you can be a shill for Israel and be very retarded.
Then anything horrendously inappropriate was posted by Matt.
Ooh. What? He is. Ooh, oh, my God. Yeah.
I mean, It was Saturday night, and Matt's been drinking.
Hashtag green dongs.
I'm bringing them all. And a cannon.
You ruined it. You ruined it.
It's going to be flaccid confetti everywhere.
Oh,
Something.
well, that was a fun subject.
That was
So let's take him down a bit.
So
And
now,
Trump threatened to do a federal takeover in D.C. because Big Balls got beat up by like 10 U's while protecting his girlfriend.
Was it his
who
girlfriend?
did?
Yeah,
I thought it was just some random lady.
it might have been randomly. I don't know.
She got away though, so
Yeah, no, he
got his
saved
ass
her.
kicked, but mission accomplished.
Yeah, remember? I mean, there was a whole thing about, the fucking how Big Balls was not a serious person. Maybe
Big balls.
Who's got big balls? He's got big
Hairy
balls. I
balls.
got stumped.
It would make me happy.
Have a couple balls and an extra set of fingers?
You know what I'm saying?
so. Yeah, congrats. I mean, that's awesome on him. And I think Trump knew him. I think through Doge because he was part of the Doge team.
He might not have known him personally, but everybody knows who Big Balls is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure Trump met him with Elon. So. But that kid, he's only 19 years old, protecting a woman.
Well, and I think more people need to do that, unless people need to break out their phone and film shit. There's a lot of places talking about passing laws that got the entire cast of Seinfeld thrown in prison to where you can't just stand around and be a bystander.
Yeah.
It's the last episode, Matt.
I know what you're talking about.
But no, like you shouldn't be able to, like, if someone's being accosted or whatever, like there should be some kind of civic duty to, hey, I don't know, call 911.
Yeah.
Hit your buddy, hey, record this shit. I'm calling 911. Whatever.
Yeah.
You guys talked about that Cincinnati beatdown.
Yeah, you don't always have to be the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that to the 911 operator, but at least call 911.
Oh shit! You should have seen that.
Got fucked
But you
up.
should also be helping them.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, the
understand.
one lady's knocked out on the ground, definitely unconscious, and everybody around her is just laughing and filming it and not trying to help her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then to have your, was it a state senator or the actual congressman come out and be like, well, you know.
Well, it was the police chief, and then it was the mayor, and then it was like everybody was just condoning
There
it.
was somebody, it was a state, I think it might have been a state representative came out and basically said they deserved it or whatever. They shouldn't have
Yeah.
been there. And that person has not been back to work since.
Nor should she. I hope there has to be consequences to being an idiot. And I don't know how these people get elected. I don't know how they find that. It's like the news. You know how the news, like I've been on the receiving end of this. They'll just find the dumbest person or the drunkest person and film them and ask them questions. Or
I feel like we need to find this clip, Kevin, and put it on the show.
it was for St. Patrick's Day. I already had I don't know. No, it's for Cinco de Mayo.
What
I think I was about
news station, Kevin?
KWTC, I think.
We're going to find it.
And I was about 10 cervezas in, as the Cinco de Mayos say. They're like, what does Cinco de Mayo celebrate? I'm like, I don't know. It's Mexicans Independence Day. I'm like, I don't like that drink. So I don't know. And I was really drunk.
Celebrate
I like
margaritas.
bubbly drinks that make my brain fuzzy.
They're like, why are you out celebrating? I don't know.
You know, here's
Like
the thing
getting drunk?
about...
I'm an alcoholic. I don't know. What do you want to ask?
Well, and here's the thing about the whole Washington, D.C. thing. It's not a state. It's its own independent body. It should be run by the federal government. It should be the safest damn city in the country.
It should be one of the safest cities in the world.
I think
it should be Singapore.
It should have been taken over a long time ago.
Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, that's what I get. We deserve our own Congress. No, you don't. You're not part of the United States. You're almost, I mean, Washington, D.C. is almost like an embassy in another country. Like, it's just there. That's where the country's business happens. You don't have a voice because all the voices come to this area to do the government's business.
Like it's in the name. District,
Washington, D.C., District of Columbia. But this shouldn't it be District of the United States?
Yeah, why is it Columbia?
Yeah, Matt, why? You're smart.
I knew this once, but I forget right now.
Brain dump.
Yeah, too much drinking.
Big old brain Boston steamer.
All right, well, we'll move on while Matt looks that up. Iowa superintendent has to resign for endorsing a ban on big pharma, but it's also because he said they promote and cause homosexuality and obesity. I think it's the second part that got him banned or had to resign.
Was it the first, second, all of it?
Oh, because Christopher Columbus. Duh.
God, duh. Why is the District of Columbus?
So, because it doesn't sound poetic.
It's all stupid.
So
yeah, now we sound like a third world country, which it turned into. You named it into a third world country.
Names have consequences.
They do.
So it's called the District of Columbia because it was established as a federal district distinct from any state as the seat of the U.S. government, and the name Columbia was a poetic term for the United States and its colonies. The name District of Columbia was chosen to honor Columbus and its origins.
Your mic's messing up, and I'll be right back.
Your mic is messing up.
It's messing up?
That was good. I don't know if you just weren't talking into it or something.
I probably wasn't because I'm looking over here.
Yeah, but I mean, names do have consequences because, I mean, when's the last time you saw a Cletus as a Supreme Court justice or
show's over. Because the show's over.
I'm just saying, like, some names do have consequences.
Yeah. That's why they're changing all the Army bases, which is dumb.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, what do you think about the superintendent in Iowa that had to resign? Do you think was it cause-worthy to resign? I mean, I agree that, big pharma should not be a ban on, basically a ban on big pharma, like TV ads is what he wanted to. That was the basis for it.
I don't know much about it, to be completely honest with you.
I just saw it. I just saw a thing about it, so I didn't dive too deeply into it. I just know that he had a Facebook post agreeing with somebody that Facebook or on Facebook or something that they should have a ban on big pharma on TV, the TV ads. But then he said it they promote and cause homosexuality and obesity.
Was it the Northeast Iowa School District superintendent?
Maybe.
And Polk?
Yeah, probably Polk County.
Sorry, I'm just reading it.
Yeah.
Post to Facebook saying Big Pharma promotes childhood obesity and homosexuality. School board members voted. I mean, people in charge, they got to be smart. Yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but you got
to consequences. There is consequences to what you say. You can say whatever the fuck you want. The government ain't going to get you, but
everybody else is. And then especially with school and education and anybody in power, the majority is going to win. I'm sorry, but even whether they're right or wrong in it, they're going to win. So you need to be smart in what you put down. That's why a lot of places monitor your Facebook page. So they're like, hey, a lot of employers and stuff be like, hey, you're putting dumb shit on your Facebook page. So no, we're not going to hire you because you're an idiot.
Yeah, I just put our show on our Facebook page. But I mean, I don't know if Big Pharma endorses like obesity, but I think that's more the food companies because they put all those additives and shit and sugary and drinks and candy bars and shit like that. That's what's making kids fat.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that they don't make people fat. I'm not 100% sure where you guys are discussing about whether or not they promote homosexuality. Not sure that happens.
I don't think they do.
The only thing, if you made an argument, if there's some kind of study out there showing that, like, how everybody thinks that their kids acting out because of some uncurable thing that only requires a drug to protect. So you're giving someone a drug that messes with their brain while they're undergoing mental development into adulthood. That could possibly cause just weird changes. I don't know about making people gay.
Maybe that's why. I mean, there's such a high spike in mental disorders anymore. I mean, Could be because, people have been medicating for, this new generation. The generation probably before has been the kids of, medication almost.
Yeah, I mean, I knew a guy who was on stuff, and then as an adult, he was a pretty normal guy, other than he lactated. He was a dude, and he would get stuck like this, like, and he would get stuck like that. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, it's just this thing I do." So
This is my medicine.
Well, he was on like Ritalin or something like that as a kid. I'm like, dude, you're the poster child for suing the shit out of them because they fucked you up. You're weird.
Yeah. I mean, there is a chance that
we have an obesity epidemic in this country because nobody cooks. Everybody eats highly processed food. We eat a shit ton of sugar. We drink a shit ton of sugar. And it's bad lifestyle choices. You know why? Because it's easier and sadly maybe cheaper than eating clean. Kind of, probably.
it definitely
not.
is. Like, organic food is expensive as fuck.
Well, yeah, but I don't think eating non-organic vegetables.
No, but just eating vegetables, even if they are fucking.
Now the meat, that's a little different because I do think that
they put all kinds of steroids and shit in meat.
Yeah, I think that has definitely had an impact on the youths, and that messes with body, brain chemistry, all kinds of stuff. So, I mean,
I never knew a chicken was actually supposed to be like that big, but I mean, they're grown to like huge sizes.
Yeah.
Huge.
But yeah, I think
huge.
I just think that they should be illegal because I'm tired of fucking seeing them all over the like. You watch a show, and I try to DVR everything because I hate commercials. Half of the damn commercials, including on Fox, are freaking medical commercials.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
Two countries on the planet allow that shit, and we're one of them, and they need to get rid of it. And that way, CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, they'd all go out of business. Because that's the only way that you can have a network that can, now, granted, they are having to let people go because they can't afford their salaries, but it's the only way you can have a network that is pure propaganda, spewing bullshit, have gotten caught multiple times lying, and still stay in business because they're being propped up by all these medical ads. Because who the hell is going to want to advertise a real product on a network or on a platform that is habitually known for lying?
Yeah.
Or known for habitually lying, maybe?
Habitually lying, yeah.
Habitual lying, habitually.
Sometimes I like to use big words that I don't necessarily know what they mean because I feel like it makes me sound smart.
I think you put it in the right context.
You just like saying it because it has bitch in it.
Yeah. That's a bitchin' word, bro.
So,
bitchin'.
So, yeah, that guy was dumb. I mean,
agree.
I'm not going to say, like, you should get your job back. I totally agree with him. They should 100% ban big pharma commercials.
Yeah, that part I agree with. So, there was a mass shooting in Fort Stewart, Georgia. There was no casualties, 5 injured. Soldiers who were not armed quickly brought the shooter down. So good job to those soldiers who brought him down. They probably saved a lot of lives. It was a soldier. I don't have his name. But
it's something.
What was the base?
Fort Stewart.
Fort Stewart.
I usually don't like to promote the name of mass shooters because,
he was
school shooters in particular.
Yeah.
Oh, this is with a handgun too. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
This guy was, from what I heard, he's a sergeant in the Army, and he got caught with a DUI. He got DUI, and he screwed up. He didn't really tell anybody about it, and then they found out, and they're like, "Well, you're probably going to get discharged." So he's going to be on his way out, and he got pissed and grabbed a gun, and then went off and shot people. Is what I heard.
And it was with a sidearm. It wasn't with just super feared AR-15.
Right, and those are very. I mean, I don't know how he had it, and they were trying to figure out how he even had his sidearm because you don't carry sidearms around with you in bases. It's not allowed.
Does it surprise you? You can't open carry on a base? What the hell? You're in the military.
Unless you're an MP, you really should have no reason to have a.
No, they don't open carry on a base.
Well, that's like the Navy. No one has guns in the Navy. They have an armory on the boats, but nobody carries a firearm.
Yeah, they don't carry firearms on the base unless you're doing target practice.
Yeah.
Or you're.
Why do you think this story hasn't gotten a shit ton of coverage?
Oh, because of the Shooter
now there's other
might
shooting.
be
There
because
was
the
an
shooter
Atlanta
was a
shooting
black
today.
male.
Oh,
well,
that too.
and yeah, it was an AR-15. It was military, and the military people stopped it. What was the other shooting? I didn't hear about that one.
There was one today in Atlanta.
I didn't know that one.
It was near the CDC. It was just literally this afternoon. They killed the gunman. They shot. I'm trying to find how many people got shot. I don't think very many. I think one got killed and then another got shot. But it was at a CVS near where did it say? It just had it. Yeah, near the CDC by Emory University near Atlanta. And he went in there. I don't know what he was shooting at, whatever.
He didn't kill anybody.
I'm guessing people is what he was shooting at.
Well, yeah, he killed a police officer. He did no. I don't know why he was shooting.
Why?
I don't know what.
I thought you said what he was shooting at.
I did say what. I meant why.
Okay.
I don't know why he started.
Apparently,
shooting.
you just need to check their pockets, and they'll have a manifesto written on a napkin.
Yeah. I don't know what brought that up. I haven't read it. So, he did kill a police officer. So
it's bullshit.
It was just before 5. He opened fire in front of the CDC campus, shooting multiple rounds into CDC buildings, according to Atlanta police chief.
Well,
did not know that.
And I'm getting real tired of hearing other countries talk about our gun rights and all shit. So let's totally not address the mental illness issue we have in this country and just blame an inanimate object that cannot kill anybody unless it's a SIG P320.
That is true.
That one particular gun may or may not inadvertently kill people. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I haven't done this. I could be wrong.
It's the one angry gun.
I could be wrong. I just know there's canceled government contracts, stuff like that, but I could be wrong. I don't want to get sued by SIG. I'm not saying your gun kills people, okay? I'm just saying some people have alluded to you may not want to touch it.
Who makes SIG? What country makes SIG? Is it us or is it?
In the Swedes?
I think it's Swedenless.
I was going to say it sounds.
That sounds like
SIG Sauer.
That sounds like something I would ask you to look up.
I was busy looking up the
Atlanta one
shooting,
yeah,
the
that makes
CDC
sense.
shooting.
Swiss Industry Group.
Yeah, it's the fucking Swedes.
Originally founded in 1853. Well, the latter part comes from the Sauer and the Son, founded in 1751 in Germany.
All right. Well,
and still active there with Swedes.
They're manufactured in both Germany and the United States.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that one gun that I'm not saying kills people, but you may not want to touch, is from Germany.
Yeah, I agree.
Germans and their guns.
All right. You guys got anything else for any happenings?
We talked about the only story I gave a shit about, the new mascot.
There you go. So
talked about Superman being nice. I got nothing.
All right.
It's time for.
We give him the title. He watches the movie. You get the opinion you never asked for. This is Matt's weekly movie review. I like movies.
This week's This week's movie of the week is The Naked Gun, starring Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. I saw this movie on Tuesday. I don't know why it's in Spanish. Sorry, everybody. That threw me off. Wow. This is going to be awesome. Wow. Good job, Josh. Okay. So, I haven't laughed this hard since I saw this movie. It was great. The movie was directed by Akiva Schaffer, who was actually in the Lonely Island group, and he also directed a ton of episodes of SNL. It was written by the writers of How I Met Your Mother and the Chippendale movie, Chippendale Rescuers, a couple years ago, and then it was produced by Seth MacFarlane. I love this movie. This movie was hilarious. It starred Liam Neeson from Schindler's List, Taken series, The A Team, Pamela Anderson, 90s goddess. She hasn't really been in anything other than think she was in something last year that she's up for an award for, and then now she's in this. Both of them were great. Once I heard Liam Neeson was going to be in this with his deadpan comedy, he basically played this all serious, and it was hilarious. It worked perfectly. It felt like a 90s movie. It's an hour and a half long, but it was filled with just silly jokes, just deadpan jokes, physical comedy. He had every time he ate anything, he had to take a shit, and it was mainly in his car. So that was interesting. Sorry, guys are being very unprofessional. No, him and Pamela Anderson had very good chemistry. Danny Houston was the main villain, and Kevin Durant. They always play bad guys in everything they're in. They've never really been in comedies. They both worked perfectly in this. This is definitely a movie that you don't see for the plot or the story or anything like that. This is purely a comedy movie, and it's been years and years since they made the last one, but this one was great. It was a great addition to it, and it didn't try to be anything serious. And I'm about to take my headphones off because these guys won't stop laughing. But it was a great movie. If you want to see something that you will just laugh the entire time at, go see this movie. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Laughed the entire time. It doesn't try to be anything that it's not, and the whole cast was great. Nothing serious, not going to be Oscar worthy, but it was still a great movie, and you're going to laugh the entire time. And that is my movie review of the week.
I like movies.
So remember, everyone, to watch Agarillo Como Puedes.
Jesus Christ.
I kept looking over it. I couldn't stop laughing.
That's when you mute your mic. So
I did.
I didn't.
Somebody did.
I tried to turn away so
I
it
couldn't hold it back far enough, so I had to turn my mic off.
God.
I just kept looking at it. I'm like, how did I not notice that?
I don't know. During the whole show, I was trying to figure out. I was like, "Is that the original one?
Like is that
That's the original. What is that?" And then it popped up in Spanish. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh,
I was trying to get a full movie poster, and I just saw Leslie Nielsen. The pink letters. I'm like, cool. I didn't even read it.
Leslie Nielsen. I'm glad it wasn't Leslie.
Or whatever his name is.
Liam
Neeson. And I was like, okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this will work.
Got confused by each other.
I just looked at him like, is that in Spanish?
Yes. That's why I started and I paused and I was like, what the fuck? That just threw my whole thing off. Thanks.
Oh my god. I haven't laughed that hard in a while.
Mucho buenos.
Agarillo Como Puedos. Bueno.
I did not do that on purpose, but I just.
Sure.
Oh, no, seriously, I did not.
We both started laughing so hard once it came up.
And then I just kept looking at it, and I'm like, I couldn't stop. I just kept looking at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. It just keeps funnier the more I stare at it.
Exactly. I couldn't look at it because I'm like, how did you not notice this?
Honest to God's truth, I did not know that I did that until we put it up. Yeah.
So if you can find the Spanish version of
Jesus.
what movie are we doing next week again, Matt?
I think you said you wanted me to do
Happy Gilmore 2. So if you can find the Spanish version of that, but
and then do your review in Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. I failed Spanish 1.
Yeah, I failed intro to Spanish.
Yeah.
I got a B in that, and then when I went to Spanish class, our intro to Spanish teacher was teaching the Spanish that you would run into in America.
Mm-hmm.
And then my Spanish 1 teacher's like, I'm going to teach you traditional Spanish, which if you're learning a new language is like starting completely over. So
Yeah.
like, this is
I know
dumb. I'm not going to need
and
it.
Albano and Puta.
Yeah, I know a lot of bad
The
words.
3 ones that you need.
Bendejo.
Yeah, Bandejo.
Yeah.
But Cerveza
guys,
and Albano were the ones.
You
I
guys
know how to
got
say,
anything else?
hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Josh. No hablo inglés. Or no español. ¿Hablo inglés?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
I don't know what you're saying. It sounds like a song.
You know where the library is.
What's going on with the library? Where's the library?
I don't know. Maybe.
I
I also failed Spanish.
I know how to say hello. How are you doing? My name is Josh. I don't speak Spanish. Do you speak English?
Oh, is that what you said?
And dos cervezas. Well, I said it backwards. I don't speak English. Do you speak Spanish? And then they start talking to me in Spanish. I'm like, ¿qué?
Well, at least the first half of the show was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First half of the show was classy, and then we took over, and it just went to shit.
It did go to shit real quick. So, but again, I would like to thank Adam Brandon for being on the show. He might regret it after watching the second half, but I'd like to thank him for at least trying to be on the show. So, and hopefully on again sometime next year, early next year. We will be having 2 more guests, maybe, depending how we act.
Don't
I
announce
guess
until they confirm.
Yeah, so maybe in September, maybe later this month. I don't know. Hopefully, we'll have some more guests moving forward. Hopefully, more people watch, subscribe, and share our show because that's the only way we can grow. So be cool and do it. Don't be a dick. Make sure to buy some Yummy Tummy barbecue sauce because it's some good ass shit. And buy our shit and our merch shop. Buy our shit, lostcommon.com, or on Etsy. You can find us on, you just got to look up the Lost Art of Common Sense, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, do that too. Or the link's in the description, right?
Do it.
I think so.
So do all that shit, buy our shit, buy some barbecue sauce. The barbecue sauce especially is something you will not regret. You might regret wearing some of our shirts. But
you will not regret the delectiveness of Yummy Tummy barbecue sauce.
That is absolutely
yeah, man,
true.
I know I didn't use the right word.
So you should probably put some kind of banner for the barbecue sauce.
YummyTummyBBQ.com.
But you should make a banner for it.
Yeah, I should. Lost Common, get you 10% off.
Yep. So, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I'm Kevin.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Matt.
And this was the Lost Art of Common Sense.
Common Sense.
And Common Sense.
Common Sense. Keep that vinyl spinning.
And remember, don't be boring, be a pirate.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Flippity flip flop.
Flippity.